like hip hop and rap is like majority, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And that's all across Phoenix. Like every young person, hip hop and rap is like the go-to.
Sure.
Really like the Spanish speaking people, they go from like Spanish music. I mean, like they're called corridos. They called and also too they go more like to like the Latin like music such as like reggaeton. That's like Bad Bunny. You know, have you guys heard of Bad Bunny?
I have not.
No.
Yeah. Wow, really?
Yeah, dude.
Is that
small
like
town? You know.
Yeah. It's like more like in Puerto Rican side, Dominican side.
Okay.
It's like a really fast like beat.
Yeah. Because we've gone to Puerto Rico. Like, I know what you're talking about. Like,
Okay,
how,
yeah.
like, sometimes I've seen a dude have, like, a subwoofer behind, like, a little trike. Like, that's a different type of that's different over there. In Puerto
Right.
Rico is, like, completely different environment. But, yeah, like, it's, like, almost really good. Like, kind of get you grooving a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe that's not the same thing, but it was, like,
if it was on the street of Puerto Rico, yeah, it's probably the same.
okay.
Like some Bob Marley? Like that kind of
no,
vibe?
this was, like, dang, dude. Like, I'm going to go clubbing or something. Like, it was, like,
Oh,
good. Like, good upbeat music.
it's like
Yeah.
that beat.
Really?
Yeah, some artists around like that kind of genre is like Bad Bunny. You have Ozuna, you have Arcángel. Those are all like artists that they're not really in America. They're mostly like in Puerto Rico, you know what I mean, or
Sure.
Dominica. But they're still being like listened like worldwide in Miami, Texas, down south states are like the majority of like the people that listen to that kind of music.
Oh, sure.
So like growing up to that kind of music is different, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like even different for myself, you know, and it's played out there more
Is
regularly.
country music known out there? So like here in Little Falls, like you hear the same song on repeat all day. So like down there, is it kind of the same same deal?
It's I mean, like in the city of Phoenix, no, not really. But like once you go up north, like we talking about like Flagstaff, Sedona, those are like more like in the forest, more like up north and where it snows, more like countryside.
Yep.
That's when like you hear your, you know what I mean,
Your George Strait and your sad songs.
your Morgan Wallen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it varies. But there is to answer that, there is, yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Sweet.
Well, I want to do a quick introduction. I got co-host Travis, and then this is Cama here. So thank you for coming on the Revamp podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Welcome to Minnesota, too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you on.
It's been nothing but great memories and great times here. Yeah.
Good. So what is it? So where were you born and raised, and how did you kind of, what was your kind of background of getting into this life?
Yeah, I mean, I was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where it all started for me. You know, at an early age, growing up, seeing a lot of. How do you say? I didn't grow up in the best part of town. It's more like in
The rougher parts
the
of
rougher parts. Exactly,
Yeah.
it's more like the west side of Phoenix.
Sure.
That's where I was born. The same house that I lived in. That's where I always been at. So it's nothing changed
Even to this day yet?
to this day. Yeah,
Really?
same house.
Wow.
Yeah, same house. But it's been great. You know what I mean? Like you see a lot of like people like with the same interests. You know what I mean? I grew up around like the whole like being an athlete, and then just stuff like that. Yeah.
I feel like that is bigger down there, like basketball. Like you just see a lot more people on the streets playing sports, whether that's football, basketball, whatever, you name it, and you see it in the streets being recorded, movies made out of it, and like, is that actually how it is?
Yeah, it's yeah, that's how it really is. Like, it's like what's popular out there. Like the main sport is baseball.
Really?
That's like the like Hispanic majority. They play out there is baseball. So if you're Hispanic, you're either playing soccer or baseball.
Yeah. Yep. So you never much soccer then, really? Never
No,
really was
you
your
didn't really
thing?
get into soccer.
Yeah.
No.
Heck yeah.
But baseball is like it's big out there, and like it's like a state that you can play like around the year, 365. So like club ball, you can do like little league stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Dang.
So you go ahead.
Because you went to college. You went to college and you played baseball in college
Yeah.
as well then? So you've been playing, you played all your life baseball or?
all my life. Yeah.
Okay.
So we talking about since T-ball.
Oh, dang.
So like since like
Commit.
coach
It's
pitch and
commitment.
stuff like that.
Jeez. Okay.
And like I did the whole thing. So like since like the whole like coach pitch, T-ball, and then I started doing little league, and then travel ball is really big out there.
Sure.
Travel ball. So like we talking about like 12 years old all the way up to 18.
Oh, dang, really?
Yeah. So going out of state, doing the whole club ball thing, and then which I love. You know what I mean? I made a really good friends, as I was doing it. Like people that still like hold close. That's where I met those people, you know.
Sure. Yep.
And then I went on to play JUCO.
What's
JUCO.
that?
Oh, that's college. That's college, like the lowest college level
Okay.
for playing baseball. Yeah, I went to Phoenix College, right? That's like a JUCO, like a community college. They only have one team for baseball, for like men's baseball, and then have one team for women's softball. And then like same with basketball, same with all other
Okay.
sports.
Sure.
Yeah.
So same thing. One team, one school, one team.
one team, one school.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
I'm representing that, and it was. I had a blast. I did the whole shebang. It was cool. Like the mini college experience. You know,
Get the vibes?
not yeah, the vibes and like going to class and then stuff like that. Not the whole like the dorming stuff like the university, like a D2, D1.
Yep.
But it was fun though. Like I had a great time.
So what were you going to college for, or what were you kind of getting out of that,
Man, I don't even know what. Like I have no idea.
or were you just going just to play baseball?
Yeah, it was like more shits and giggles.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
more.
just to say you did it, just
Yep.
kind of
Yeah.
see what it's all about, kind of just
Right.
like, oh, check it
Yeah,
out.
that's all it was. You know what I mean? Like at one point they told me write what you want like on a piece of paper, like what I want to like lead into, like what kind of field or like what I want to major. I kind of put like I don't even know what I put. Honestly, I just want to be there for sports.
Yeah.
As long as I get like C's or even D's, I believe like they allow D's.
Yeah.
Like you're still able to play. So I didn't really care about education. You know.
True. Just love to play.
Yeah, just want to play. You know, I got the whole little mini scholarship. Let's go. You know.
With your parents being like Hispanic, so how is that different from, say, our parents? You know, like are they more disciplined?
With the education,
Yeah, like just not really knowing what you want to be or want to do in life. Is it more of like, Cama, like you got to do this? Like why? Kind of questioning you.
Yeah. So, yeah. So like my parents, I mean, my dad like mainly sacrificed a lot. You know what I mean? From one country to the next.
Because you're first generation.
I'm
not to
first
interrupt
generation. Yeah, first generation out here. Me and my sister and I. So yeah, my dad at the age of 15 or 17, around that age, and like he had a pack of stuff. We talking about from Mexico, Chihuahua, Mexico, and which is 6, 7 brothers that he has. Like find a way to cross over. Some of them ended up in Texas. Some of them ended up in LA. Some of them ended up in Phoenix. You know. So he. With that being said, he sacrificed a lot. You know what I mean? He didn't have a childhood because he knew that he had to find a future. So like me out here already set up. We have a home. I'm growing up. He's like education. That's like, hey, go get your education.
Yeah.
Personally, like I don't like school.
yeah.
So I was just like, just nodding, yeah, for sure. But something that's always been pushed on.
I suppose because it's one of them things he wants to give you what he never had or that he didn't get as much of. So he
Right.
just wants to try to, I see, lead you in the best direction, obviously, for something that.
Was there pushback with that?
Push back.
Like,
in what
as
sense?
in, you didn't really like the school, and he was trying to push it. Was there some conflict between you two?
Yeah, a lot of conflict. You know, my sister, she was on like the straight A student,
Sure.
honor rolls and stuff like that. So they had no problem with her. You know.
Yeah.
But with myself, nah. Like there was a lot of like, hey, you didn't show up to class. Hey, you're failing on this. You know. So they were just really like a lot of head banging each other. You know what I mean? Just that conflict
Yeah.
throughout my whole childhood. Like that's how it was.
Just how you were.
That's how it was. You know.
So, when you're talking with your dad and his siblings crossing over, did they have any communication once they did cross over? And if so, was it something that had to be kind of on the hush?
Yeah, so the whole like 6 or 7 of them,
Yep.
once they crossed, they didn't know about each other being alive or where they ended up. You know what I mean? It was
Really?
like yeah. So it was like they all went in together. This is per his story that he told me. They all like got to the borderline wherever they were at, and you got to run. It's like a big old game of tag. You know, like try not to get tagged. And sometimes they depart and like go other ways and try to make your way out to.
So as everyone was like a fend for themselves, like
Yeah.
it's a like we're out here, like let's just do what we got to do.
Exactly. That's how it was for them. You know what I mean? I believe he tried twice, and by the third time around, third time's a charm, right?
Yeah.
He got through.
So you got caught.
He got caught twice.
So
Yeah.
what happens when you get caught?
He gets processed. He gets
And then
processed.
just sent back home?
Sent back home.
Really?
Yeah.
So okay, so like with these, they end up in different states. Do you just pick a direction and you go, or that's quite a bit of a distance between the states.
Yeah.
How is it? One dude ended here, this guy here.
Yeah, so I mean, from my understanding, and like he doesn't tell me like exactly every time like, oh,
Yeah.
this is how it went, but he drops hints, and me speaking to my mom, she drops a little bit more hints. It's just more like get up and go. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
like run north. It's
Yeah.
Just
north.
go.
Like some of them ended up in LA, or some of them ended up in San Diego or in Texas. It's like, where am I at? And then you see like, oh, the city of San Diego. You're like, oh, I'm in
I'm
San
here.
Diego, yeah, or
Dang.
Phoenix.
What-
So it just go go go.
So looking back now, like obviously everyone made it in then. Right, all your
Everybody
family,
made
like,
it
looking
in.
back now.
All my uncles made it in. Yep,
Dang.
correct. And this is from my dad's side.
So how many years did they go without knowing whether or not if some of their siblings made it in or not?
It's within 2 years, I believe.
2 years. 2 years of not knowing.
2 years of not knowing.
Dang.
Yeah.
And that was at a young age, you said. Was it
This
15?
is like 15, 17.
Dang, man. That's young.
Yeah.
And you're trying to go somewhere you've never been before, new country.
You're a kid.
Yeah.
Trying to, I mean, America, right? It's like the way to go. It's like the
We
holy
were-
grail, whatever, man. That's about.
We were talking last night. You lived in Mexico for a while, did you not?
I lived in Mexico for like 6 months.
Okay. So when we were talking before, you seen that like the Mexicans, right? Is that
Right.
okay?
No, yeah,
Like
yeah.
they see like the American as like a fast paced working. Like what did you mean by that?
Yeah, so it's like everybody in the world, they see like America like the land of opportunities, which is correct. But then you got your other half of like the other people realizing that it's just work, go, go, go. Like you wake up, go to work, come back, you sleep. And yes, you're making financials and stuff like the opportunities, but yet again, some people rule the quality of life more than having financials.
Sure.
Catch my
Yeah,
drift a
that
little
makes
bit?
sense for sure. Yeah.
It's you go to Mexico, it's like a heart, like it's a upbeat. It's like real laid back. It's something that you guys should experience. Like it's real laid back. It's not your vacation to the Bahamas. It's like the living out there. It's like more chill. It's more calm.
simple.
It's more connected to the family.
Sure.
It's more like connected to like your day to day. It's not just how much you can make in savings or whatever. It's
Yeah.
more like, hey, let's enjoy what we have right now.
So it's more
That's
of like
super
that
rare.
simple. Is it more of like that simple? Just like, hey, let's just enjoy life a little bit. Like,
Right.
like you said, take it back a notch and just kind of like, hey,
That's
look at the clouds today,
Ex-
or just the
exactly.
little things like that kind
Exactly.
of a thing compared to here. Because it's true. It is around here, even around here. Like you said,
Right.
it's the cycle.
it's a
It
cycle.
is.
It's like hamster on the wheel. It's like never ending.
Yeah.
When you mentioned that, it was kind of shocking to me, just because you get someone who sees it from the outside view, and here like we're born and like we don't know any different.
Yeah.
Right.
And you get someone coming in and like there is a different side of the United States that we don't see.
Right.
I just found that super sweet, 'cause it's like I wonder what it is like in Mexico.
Yeah.
And like you talk about slow, like I can't picture it in my mind unless I'm seeing it.
Seeing it and actually being there.
Yep,
present.
yep.
But those 6 months were like it was something. You know what I mean? I learned a lot. You know what I mean? I learned. It's like the best childhood memories is like within those 6 months. Like
Yeah.
anything else is blurred out. Honestly, like it's like hard to remember. But like those 6 months in Mexico, I was a kid. I was like probably like 5, 7, and I remember really well. Like
It's still there.
still there, and like
Dang.
me like getting lost like in a wash bay or whatever, like in a little creek, and just being there for hours and just popping fireworks and
Just having fun.
just having fun. And then
Yeah.
my grandma was like calling out for my name off in the distance. I'm running and getting my ass spanked and stuff like that. You know, just, where you been? Like you missed dinner and like you know what I mean, just stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was an experience for sure.
Dang.
So you spent a lot of your teenage years in Phoenix, correct? Like, is that where a lot of the growing up was taking place?
Yeah. So from give or take like middle school all the way up to like college. Yep.
Okay. So when you were there, how did that kind of moving, kind of get that Mexican vibes, and then like coming to the United States and not really having the drive for education? Like, how did you kind of find your way of fitting in?
Yeah.
If that's a good way
yeah,
to put
like
it.
try to figure out like
What are you?
what's meant for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a question like we all face.
Yep.
And it's scary, and sometimes like a lot of people got it right off the jump, and some people don't get it anytime soon, you know. But for me, it was more like so I knew school was not it, right? Like anything that's like going towards your associates, your bachelor's, like, I would want to, right? That's like something I want to do, but I don't want to limit myself, but like it was hard for me to do the whole school. So like that was out the plan. So I tried the good old construction. You know what I mean? Like that route, the whole drywall, metal stud framing, and that's what my dad does like to this day.
Okay.
So like he figured out, okay, like baseball was fun, but like I hung up the glove, and school's not it. Come work. So like for about 2 years of my life, I did the whole construction, and it was great. You know what I mean? Good money at an early age. You know what I mean? It's good paying,
Nope.
but not really good on your body, and not really good for like a long run.
Yeah.
In my opinion, in my situation, that like my dad's doing this job, and he came from another country. I want to try something different. Maybe like
Right.
whatever it is.
Yep.
So to say maybe like better, but yet again different. Something that I want to really do. Not just because my dad just offered me this. Or like, hey, I got to open. You want to come? Like something more.
Yeah. More of what Cama wants to do, or what
Exactly.
more you. Who are you? What's your story?
Exactly.
That's so true. That's a lot of things. Kind of even what we talked about earlier. Yesterday, is just kind of accepting more of yourself instead of trying to do and worry about what other people think of you. As in that way of like, oh man, like I should be doing this because this is what my dad did, or I should, just like we talked about too,
Yep.
all that stuff. Just not like it's a bad thing at all, but like you said, just go find who you are, go do what Kama wants to do.
Exactly, yeah.
I like that drive.
Yeah.
And, especially coming here, first generation, trying to make something of yourself. And yet, I feel like a lot of people here, born and raised here, all the opportunity given to them, yet don't want to do anything with the opportunity that they can take. And, like I find that sweet for you. Like you're trying to make something work, and you're trying to grow, advance. Like construction
Right.
wasn't for you. What is? And,
Right.
like you keep looking for it instead
Yeah.
of settle.
Like it's that drive because like
Yep.
as much as like I grew up not making the right choices, being a teen, right, being a young kid, I knew back in my mind I got to make my mom and my dad proud. That's something that's always like got me out of bed. And like whether I realized it at an early age or not, it's something that like I can't just stay in one spot and just call it quits, roll over in the fetus. You know what I mean? I gotta like go after it.
What was some troubles growing up? Like, did you have some troubles with, like, running with the law or bad people or?
Yeah. So like at an early age, I was like really like just I love to tag for some reason.
Tag.
Tag, yeah.
What's that?
So tag is like graffiti.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Just like tag your, I don't know, like your Walmart sidewalk, or whatever, or just like the sidewalks and stuff like that. I had a bad habit of doing that. That's something that's like, oh, like I got better at tagging, or I made my tag from my side of town, stuff like that. That's something that like early age I did.
Was that more of like a repping? Like were you, for you or the people that do it, is it more of like a repping of where you're from, or is it like that's my artwork out there?
It's so there's two ways about it. Like if you bang like a set or like a block, whatever, then that's more like gang related activities. I never banged for no set, no nothing, right? So it wasn't really gang activity. It was more like it looks cool.
Sure.
It was more like
artwork.
Yes, give or take, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's more like, oh, like I do this and this, and like it looks cool, and like me and my buddies always did it for like us, but we just want to put it in a public view, you know what I mean?
Just being young,
which is
being
not
a kid,
it.
it's like, oh, we shouldn't do
Yeah.
it, but it's fun, there
Yeah.
it is. So do you ever do like train cars and stuff? Do you ever do any of them?
No train cards.
Yeah, that's some crazy
the
art
heck?
down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just like run around, you know what I mean, in a backpack and just tag stuff
Go,
like that.
yeah. So do you ever get any close encounters with like the law, like by doing
yeah,
that?
yeah, for sure. Uh-huh.
That's
I mean,
adrenaline, right?
Yeah, it happened once or twice, like tagging related, and it's a lot of spankings and a lot of no's and in Spanish, right? No,
Yeah.
it's just I feel like no is a universal thing all around, right? But just a lot of, you know what I mean? Don't do that, don't do this, But I mean, tagging was like big, and then partying. I feel like partying was like right after, Like this is more like tagging was more like middle school, and then high school was like more like stop tagging, like partying.
Yeah.
Hey, like how did it feel like to like sip on some liquor or like whatever?
Yep.
So that was my next like big old.
So
Next
then is that what
phase.
kind of got you into like the music, where you wanted the DJ and stuff? Was that more your vibe then? Like how you said you like to like do your own little DJ stuff? Like you just love that was you at the time, so you really Is that why you got into that? Or
I got into it just because like the whole school was going, you know. I want to see
Sure.
what the fuss is about.
Yep.
yeah,
That's why like I was like, okay, cool, like I don't know, whoever la is throwing a party. I guess we're all going. You know what I mean? Like if everybody's gonna be there and like it's not school related, like we'll see what's up, you know? So you just like that's something that like really got a hold of me since like freshman year, all the way to like college, like freshman year in college, just partying, just you know what I mean, just being out and about.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's but yeah, I mean, when we were like doing like the whole like early like freshman sophomore year partying, I realized like, oh, this aux thing sucks. You know what I mean? I'm like, everybody's like wants to like get on aux and stuff like that. And I went to the Swami. Speaking about the DJ, like I went to the Swami with my dad, and we spotted like a mixer. It was all janky old mixer, you know. So I was like,
For audio?
yeah,
Like
just-
audio mixer you're talking?
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
For music, like the
Yep.
whole like two panels where you mix and where you scratch. And I was like, I have like an old laptop. Maybe I might get the cabling, whatever, at Walmart. And then I convinced my dad to buy it for me because I was like what? Like in high school, I didn't have no money.
Yep. Yep.
He was like, yeah. He's like, I got you. Like just something to get you busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so.
Like, is it like a stay out of trouble type deal? Like, was he thinking that it would
Yeah,
help
it's
you
like-
just kind of keep busy, not
That's how I took it, right? I'm like,
okay?
yeah. He was like, all right, like you want it, cool. You're gonna like really like poke your head on it, like maybe you might get something out of it. So he bought me the mixer, connected it, got the wiring and stuff like that, and like I had a blast. Like I started like scratching, watching like YouTube.
Yeah, just gonna learn how to do it.
Yeah, I'm not like the like those like famous like mixers like that, right? I'm not
Yeah.
like pro like that.
Nope.
But like I know how to like go in, go out of songs, like mix in, stay on beat and stuff like that. So like once I got like the whole things down, where like, hey, I feel confident. I could keep this going for like a couple hours, have like the whole list of songs that I want to play. Like, why not? So like from there, took it to the house parties. Yeah,
Dang, dude. Too bad you didn't have no samples or anything.
I
God
actually
dang.
do.
Do you really?
Yeah, Kenna had some samples.
Oh,
I'll show you guys
man.
after the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was I posted like you know how like Snapchat gives you like like 4 years ago like you had like
Yeah,
yeah
the
that's
little
what I
memories.
yeah that's what I get.
Oh,
So I
dang.
look back at them like I wasn't that bad. I was like who knows I wasn't that bad. I probably could have been in Vegas.
Shit still sounds good, you know? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Is that how you were known as in high school? Kind of like the DJ dude.
So like yeah so like not all the way. I was mostly known as like a athlete. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
like like Cama, right? That's what they call me like back home, right? Not really government name like Obed, but they call me Cama. So like he's an athlete. He plays for like baseball varsity, but yeah he DJs. You know what I mean? Like it's mostly like athlete than DJs.
Sure. So how was it then? Because in high school, you said you kind of liked to party a little bit during the high school years.
Right.
So how was that mixing? Obviously, it's just like any other kid with that. You know, some are more strict on it, but with the whole sports and then the partying, like, did a lot of people know that you partied, or was it more of like you did it with like a small group of people kind of a thing? You know what I mean? Like around here, it's like, oh, you got your jocks. It's like, oh, the jocks don't drink, you know,
Oh,
quote
okay, 'cause-
unquote. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And it's like they're the
Yeah.
the good goods, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Little
it's like, was
cliques.
that like the same type of an environment back in the day there in that,
Yeah.
you know, in that school?
I mean it was mostly like, well my school that I went to no it was called Independence. Well I went to like multiple high schools.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
just jumping up and down. But the last high school, like it was lit. And, like everybody, no matter if you were like a swimmer, no matter if you were like in the chess team,
Everybody's getting it.
everybody's gonna
Everyone's having a good
that's
time.
how it was. Like everybody's like gonna
Dang, that's cool though. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
throw
Gonna
everyone
get a
together.
pole,
It's
yeah.
like, fuck it, we're having fun.
yeah. So it wasn't really like, oh, you're an athlete, you take care of your body. He's not gonna smoke or drink. No, it was like we're all like at this function, like we're all gonna turn up.
That's weird. That
Yeah.
you don't see that.
I
And, you know, like
know.
especially here, it's so clicky. There, it's like
Yeah.
like everyone's just flowing with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. School, your
it
sports,
goes.
so then you party. You know,
Yep.
it's like everyone
It's-
clicks. See that's cool. I like that. It seems a lot more, like you said, more of a group team more than anything around
Right.
here. Is also diversified a little
Yeah, it
bit.
is.
You know, it's
Yep.
dang.
Right.
That's funny how that shit
Yeah.
works. So I don't mean to go back and bring back another subject here, but so where you're from originally in Phoenix, right? So with there you were saying how that's a very high population of Mexican,
Correct.
or like Mexican, and so with that do they see that as the fast pace? Like I know I'm going way back a couple subjects here, but I
Right.
was really curious.
No,
about
you're
this.
fine. You're fine.
Is do they see it as like the fast paced world yet. Since it's like, you know what I mean? Since there's so much of like true Mexicans who actually might have, you know what I mean,
see,
come
like,
from
in
Mexico.
Arizona?
Yeah. Like, do they see it still as America, like the fast paced living, the boom, 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 you know?
Yeah.
Or do they, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. No, you're talking about like my age, right? Like the first generation, like
Yeah,
young,
it's
young
coming in
kids.
like, yeah, do they see it as
Yeah.
like fast paced, here we go?
They do.
Or, okay.
I feel like everybody does because like, and like everybody that was like first generation, like myself, you know what I mean? Like we all go to Mexico like once a year, you know what I mean? Or like once every 2 years. Or like there's some people that go like once a month, you know?
Yeah.
Because like from Phoenix to like the first Mexican like town, it's like Peñasco, that's Rocky Point. And everybody goes out there. They have a Mexican, like they have a beach and they have the whole, so like they know how it is. They know how like life is different crossing like, you know what I mean? Like the border, you know?
Sure.
So they're aware. It's something that's like talked about. And
I'm not sure if I asked this or not. Is your family, like a lot of your family, in Phoenix or are they in Mexico? Like,
Yeah.
do you have a purpose to go back and visit, like family there?
Yeah.
Or is everyone in Phoenix?
so for my dad's side, everybody's here. For
Okay.
my dad's side, like everybody's here. And then we got some family in LA,
Oh, really?
in Inglewood, yeah. And from my mom's side, everybody's in Colorado.
Dang.
Like Colorado Springs, I believe.
Sure,
Yeah.
okay.
Like Aurora. That's
Okay.
like the little city they live in.
Sure.
And so like yeah, so my mom's side, no, Colorado. My dad's side's like Phoenix and LA. But with that being said too, like it's so you know how like we talked about like Mexicans, right? So I'm first generation. Technically, I'm not a Mexican. Technically speaking. I'm like it's the word that they call me, like the people out there like in Mexico, you're not a Mexican, you're a Chicano. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that word.
No.
Chicano.
I've heard of it, but
Okay, there you go, yeah.
What is it?
So Chicano, so the word chico, it's like small. Okay?
Okay.
Chicano, so it's like Chicano is small. And the reason why they call me Chicano, small, is because you're less of a Mexican. You come from like Mexican descent, but you're not fully born and raised in Mexico.
sure, not
So you're not Mexican. You're a little bit less of us. Not in a rude way. It's not disrespectful.
Oh.
But it's like just call it what it is. I'm American. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with the background of Mexican. You know?
Dang.
So yeah, Chicanos like there's a lot of Chicanos in Phoenix, including myself. Like I'm a Chicano. No, like I still have families like an aunt and an uncle out in Mexico. They were the only ones that stayed, by the way.
Really?
The only ones that stayed, and this is from my mom's side. And like it's never hard feelings. Like they come visit or we go visit. You know
Is there a reason for it? They just like that
lifestyle,
life. Okay.
that life. Like they're like, hey, no, we want to be here.
Yep.
So they've been to the U.S. before.
They've
They
been to
know
the
what it's
US.
about. It's not their thing.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, we just.
Yeah, they're aware, and like they've been to like Texas, Phoenix. You know what I mean? They're aware of America, right? But
Yeah.
they just home's
home, man.
home is in Namiquipachua. That's our city. When I was like, I don't want to say recent, but it was like when I was like about to be like 23.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 24 now,
Okay.
so it was like a year and a half, year ago. That's when like, hey, pump the brakes. that's like around like 22, 23. Yeah.
Did it just come at you sudden, or was it kind of like starting to change your ways, kind of slowly realizing
Yeah.
time to?
Yeah. So
Settle.
like I personally think nothing happens overnight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. I agree.
It's not just a light switch where you just flicker. So like as much as we slowly bit by bit go into the wrong, we slowly bit by bit walk out of the wrong and go to the right, you know? So it was around that like a year and a half ago, and it was more like spiritually. And then right after spiritually where I realized like, hey, like I gotta pay the piper one day, you know what I mean? Gotta speak to the higher up one day. So I gotta like get my act together. And then after that, it was more like back to like making my parents proud. I have like a drive. Like it just came back to me. Like I gotta better myself. One day I want kids, right? So like I need to be the best man I could be.
Was it
with the bright future? With like, you know what I mean? Be settled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it your parents that showed you kind of that side of, kind of do right and get right, or was it you that kind of made the change yourself?
Yeah. I mean, it's always been with my parents, right? Shout out to my mom. she's been always like guiding me. You know what I mean, spiritually, and just as a good person, as a good man. You know.
Yeah.
But it's always been my parents. But even like I feel like it's been deeper with my religion. You know what I mean? Like me practicing my faith, me like really praying and just like getting down to like just slowing things down and really praying. You know what I mean? That's what really helped me. Like, all right, like I gotta change.
Because that's one thing that I mean, because your parents are very religious,
Very,
right?
very,
Very
very.
religious. So I mean, you've always had that background of the religion, kind of, but just recently you really has went into it, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So like, my parents always, well, my mom always been religious, and slowly my dad bit by bit converted, you know, and he became religious, you know, and I was always shown like the whole like side of God at an early age, you know, like really really early, like you got to do your first communion, your three sacraments, you know, so it's always helped me, you know what I mean, being like close to God and like being aware of like, oh, okay, we go to church on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been like, okay, that's really good, you know.
And that was like the new normal, or like the new you,
Right.
right? Like
Yeah.
that was just kind of something that
That was my
it's just
identity.
part of your
That's
deal.
how it goes way, like that's how long ago, like it goes way back for me.
Yeah.
It's like it was me, like it's my identity. Like we go to church on Sundays, we pray and we take the communion and stuff like that. Mhm.
Sure. Yep. So yeah, so literally, so it's always been, it's
Always
always
been.
been there. It's always,
Always.
it's literally like, yeah, forever. It's
Always
been
always.
you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Dang.
And I would have traded for the world. You know what I mean? Like without like my religion, like without like me practicing my faith and like being close, I would not be like half the man I would be like today.
So going back to how you said in high school and just growing up, you know, you hit a little rough patch there. You
Yeah,
know, you
I mean,
kind of
I'm
just being
human.
a kid. Yeah, exactly.
I'm human.
So with that, then, did you still keep that faith yet with God? Were you still tight with Him yet? Were you still, you know what I mean? Were you just still having
Yeah,
fun? and
that's
you,
a good question. No, I wasn't. I got lost. I got lost. I don't know if you guys heard like the 100 sheep story. There's 100
No.
sheep, and then there's one that goes missing. And then nothing happens. Nothing like that one sheep that goes away from the 100 sheep. Like it won't be forgotten, and it will come back home. That's how I felt. I went away. I drifted away, making bad choices, and not praying in the mornings, just not going to church anymore. But I came back. I came back. You know.
yeah.
But I did drift away though.
Is it hard to come back? Like say like when that sheep did drift away, is it hard to get accepted back? You know, or like you know, we're kind of talking about it takes time to come around.
Right.
Is that one of the moments?
It feels hard for to come back to like
Yeah.
home to like my whole religion and
Yeah,
being
yep.
practicing my faith.
Yep.
It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard because he's merciful. You know, he forgives, and no matter the situation I'm dealing with or whatever I choose, like he's always gonna be there. So it's never been hard. It's more like hard in the sense of me going back to church. You know what I mean? It was more like me, not like, oh, I got to get right with him and maybe he might accept me. He always going to accept me, but it's more like me, myself. And a lot of embarrassment. I feel like really embarrassed with myself.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
so true. Like that's even for myself. Like just never really grew up super religious. Just, even now, like in the last couple months, I've been starting just to pray a little bit more and just kind of showing
Amen.
a side that I never really knew or learned growing up. And I do feel stronger in some sort of way. Can't really explain it. I just know that something's stronger than it wasn't really there before. Can't pinpoint it. Sorry, but it's
Hey,
something
no.
within.
Yeah. That's like going back to so how you kind of lost your way there a little bit. So how did your parents take that? Like they obviously must have seen that you were kind of losing touch maybe a little bit. And
Yeah.
so how did they handle that with you? You know what I mean? With the whole religion and stuff. What was their thoughts on that?
I have great parents, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're really patient, they have a lot of patience. But me going away, what I've noticed, like when my dad is like, I don't want to say the typical Mexican dad, but he's like doesn't know how to express his feelings. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of loud words and screaming and stuff like that, and like getting in my face. But my mom, it's like a yin yang. Like I got that rough side from my dad, but yet again, my mom knew that I was going through my teenage years and stuff like that. So she knew how to, you know what I mean, how to speak to me.
Yep.
And then sometimes like there's some days that she was like, all right, like it's enough of speaking. Like I'm gonna raise my tone as well, and just like just so she knew exactly. What I mean, she knew exactly how to handle the situation.
Is that a typical family? Like,
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Like
Yeah,
the dad's just
yeah.
kind of more of like hard headed.
Yeah.
Or is that right? Like kind of
No, yeah,
hitting home. Okay.
That's how it is. Like the Mexican house, like the typical household, it's like you got your dad. You know what I mean? He goes work, gets some money. He doesn't really express love to his son, like to the boys, but like with his daughter, he's like a sucker for his daughter. I mean, that's a typical Mexican dad. Then you got your mom that like normally stays home. You know what I mean? Stay home wife, and she's just like the head, like the love. You know what I mean? She's like the love. She's like the heartbeat of the family. That's how it is.
crazy.
And then you got your kids. Like they all vary within each other, but like yeah, you got your kids. But that's how it is. The dad's like he's a rock, and then your mom's like the heartbeat. So that's how it is.
That's perfect. Like you're saying, that yin yang.
Yin
You got
yang, it's
both,
so weird.
That's
It's so weird.
dang. So with that then, because you have siblings, right?
I have siblings. Yeah.
Sisters.
One sister.
One sister.
She's older. Year and a half, I believe.
Okay.
Difference, but yeah, she's like my best friend. She's my right hand.
Sure.
That's awesome to have.
Yeah. So like she was the first guinea pig. So like, no, she was the firstborn. So like, they figured out with her how to be like
yeah.
parents. You know what I mean? And then once I came around, like I was like, all right,
Yeah.
they have an idea, right? But
It's like, I hear you there, sister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
same
know
with
what I
me,
mean?
Yeah.
that's all what it is. But she's great. You know what I mean? She's back home in Phoenix. She's going to school, but
Wanted to touch base with that. So with you guys being the first generation, so is it just you and your sister? No other siblings?
me and my sister, no, that's it.
Okay. Now, did you guys speak Spanish, like growing up?
Right.
Okay, so how was that with like trying to learn English?
Yeah, so like growing up, it was just like Spanish speaking. Well, my parents also, that's all they knew, Spanish, right?
Still to this day?
My dad just Spanish. You know what I mean? And then my mom, no, Spanish and English, but like her English is not the best.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You don't get a little accent or whatever.
Yeah.
But she does know like what we're saying, but she doesn't know how to articulate and like saying words. But back in the day when I was first born with like my sister and I, like it was just Spanish speaking. And then once we were like in elementary and like middle school, we were like learning English, because like for me it took me a minute. I had to be held back. I believe in 4th, 5th grade, I was held back because like I didn't know no English, like at all.
So were you like a slow one to learn?
I mean, more like I was just showing like Spanish all my life, and then I didn't really care for it when I was at school with my buddies.
Sure.
To like pick it up.
Yep.
And like the teacher was like, "Hey, like you're about to go to 6th grade, you barely know English." So it's like they held me back for like a year, I believe.
So what did they do? How did you start learning more English? I mean, I know you're just around the environment, so you're hearing it a lot. And
Yeah.
you're being around it, and you kind of just have to be forced.
Right.
Kind
I mean,
of, but
yeah. So it's like I knew English was there, like you know what I mean, like, but I just always care for Spanish. You know what I mean? Because that's what I do at home. That's what we do. We speak Spanish at home. So it's like, all right, I know Spanish, and that's about it. But and I heard the homies and like all my friends like, hey, like English and stuff like that, but never caught my attention. Till I realized like, hey, I need English because we're in America, right? So they put me in the class of like foreign kids. You know what I mean? Like from like
That had to be
foreign
hard.
kids. Yeah, like those classes of foreign kids. Like, hey, he came from like Afghanistan and stuff like that. I was in those classes like for like a year.
Why is it
Yeah.
that your dad never really took it upon himself to learn? Is
Yeah.
it just like him? Like
He's rooted, man. He's like deep down rooted, like
Okay,
the way
yep.
he is. Like
Yep.
Spanish, we work hard, we come back home. Ladies, y'all stay home. This is how like it is. Like at
Yep.
least in my household, like ladies, y'all stay home. Like we help you guys financially, everything, but like y'all stay home. Us guys, we go after it, and we just know Spanish.
So were your parents? Did they really want you to learn English?
My mom did. My dad didn't really care for it. Like my dad was just going
Just
to
being
work.
so deep rooted.
Yeah, she was like, well, I go to work and I come back, and, like I eat and I sleep. But like my mom, she was like, oh, this is a problem. So she was
see.
like, English it is.
which being bilingual though is huge. Like that's a super upper hand.
That is
anyways,
sweet.
You know,
That's super
I
sweet.
think so. It's like well,
Yeah.
go a lot of places, even career wise. I mean, all of that stuff, super good upper hand. I mean,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like kudos to you. Like your English is very
think
good.
It is good. You're a good
It is,
talker.
It is.
It's
Yeah, it is
smooth.
really good.
I don't. Yeah, I feel like my English is like choppy.
Not at all.
I don't know. Maybe
Mine's
I
more choppier,
feel
I
like
think.
I feel like I have a lisp. You know, like I speak with like a lisp. You know.
Oh no, dude!
Now
You
I'm
should
gonna
have
pay
heard one of
attention.
these substitute teachers we had back in the day. That's a wisp. Yeah, I didn't hear no wisp come out of you yet. No way.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
No,
I
man.
mean, yeah, I mean, something that I do want to implement with my kids, for sure.
Sure.
Like, yeah,
You
like
think it'll be better with your kids?
in the long
Like, you
run,
think it'll
yeah.
be like, are you gonna teach them Spanish?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, like
Like, is that gonna be their second language?
yeah. So like they'll get Spanish from me, and then they'll get English from their mama. you
Yep.
know?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all.
That's super nice. So especially, I don't think it'd be as hard then because obviously, when you're a little baby, you know what I
Yeah,
mean. It's
no.
like you can train them.
Yeah,
teach
you can
them.
mold them. They're
Yeah,
like
right
Play-Doh.
away.
You
Yeah.
can mold them before they get like rooted down like how they are.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, especially coming like someone how you're like, dude, this is my whole life, and
Yeah.
now all of a sudden I'm just switching over. It's like, what the
Exactly.
hell, you know?
exactly yeah.
Was that stressful for you, knowing that you like, not necessarily the careers depend on it, but also like society in a way? Like, was that hard? Like, damn it, I need to learn this.
Yeah, it was like it was like eye opening. I was like, I need to learn English. When I was in this class and I was doing like summer classes, I was like, yo, this is crazy. And like the fact that I don't know this language and like I'm being like sent to school like in summer and learning English, like it's like because I have to. It was like alarming.
That's a lot of pressure to put on
That
someone
is.
that's
Being young,
very
too.
young.
Yeah.
Very
So,
young.
like your
for
friends,
sure.
did they kind of do the same thing?
No, my friends, I mean, I don't got a lot of friends. I count them in one hand,
Yep.
you know. But like, yeah, they didn't struggle. They actually, I feel like some of them, half of them, they learn English first and then Spanish. Yeah, but they still got both bilingual stuff like that.
Dang.
Yeah,
Dang. That's,
but like my Spanish, I feel like confident with my Spanish. Like I can write it, I can speak it. Like I know how to speak to elders. I know how to, like really, really well compared to my English. Like I like Spanish is like top tier, but I'm kind of grateful I learned Spanish like in the beginning of my life. I mean, because like it's embedded in me, for sure.
That's
For
what
Yeah.
you said. So does that help like with your career? Like, I don't know if you want to touch base with like the career, but like, does that help people trying to relate to you?
Yeah, like career wise, for sure. So like, I don't know. You go to Indeed, right? Like any like website that like you want to look for a job, you put bilingual, then I feel like the search is double. I mean, like, and I feel like the pay does too. So that's
Just because
always
you
good.
have that there,
That-
or like
that
it's just
bilingual.
another opportunity.
Yeah, correct. So like the job that I have now, like I've been with this job. What I do is like I'm an EMT. I'm a medical staff for the CBP for like border patrol.
So you're EMT for Border Patrol.
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm their medical staff. So I screen the whole border. You know what I mean? Like anybody that crosses over, which is Spanish speaking dominant. So like they come from Puerto Rico. They come from like Colombia. They come from like other like Spanish speaking places. Like they need like bilingual people. So that's why like this job that I applied for, like boom, they got me like the same week. You know what I mean? Because like it's.
Is that crossing over illegally or legally?
I mean they seek asylum, but like that's not the proper way. You know what I mean? Crossing over is not the proper way. Seeking asylum, it's like, well, I don't want to get into detail, but like they cross over, they get captured in America, and then they get brought over to the station. We check them out, see everything's good. They're not dehydrated, lights or scabies, and
And then send them
them
back.
out. Yeah, but this job requires like being bilingual, like Spanish and English. You got to like speak to your English speaking doctor over the phone, and then you got to talk to the patient, to the detainee. Yeah.
How is that kind of seeing people want to get over and then have to send them back, being that you kind of know what it's like on both sides?
It's like, damn, it's a bummer. It's a bummer,
Yep.
It's a bummer for sure, So like, I actually worked at the station where my dad was like captured and taken to. You know what I mean?
really?
Yeah, it
What's
was like
that?
it was ironic. It was in Tucson. Yeah, so it's like ironic. My dad was like, "What station you working at in Tucson?" And he's like, he described me the station he went to. He still remembers. I'm like, that's exactly where I work. He's like,
Wow.
yeah. He's like, I was on the other side. So yeah, I mean, it sucks. You know what I mean? Like, but I gotta separate myself from what's my job, my occupation, what I do, and what the world is. You know what I mean? Like the whole situation they're dealing with. But yeah, like it sucks. So like the first week, like they're banging on the glass and they're trying to like get more blankets and they have questions or they're processing and I'm just medical and I can't really speak to you if like there's no need to. So it's like my hands are tied, kind of.
And is that something you carry with you, or is that something that when you leave work that stays at work?
So when they're, I don't know why, but like when they're grown ups, like a woman, like a grown woman and a grown man, it doesn't really get to me. Like I know how to just leave back at work and just. But like when you see like kids, like little kids, like with like a address pinned to the shirt, like a shirt.
What's
You know
that?
what I mean? Like their address or like where they want to be. You know what I mean? In America, like pin on their shirt and like $20 in their pocket, and their little kids crossing with their sibling. Like that's what's like, you know, it's a scary world, and you're just walking with your sibling. Like you could just get like snatched like this, you know.
So what is that? Is that like the parents sending them over?
Parents
just
sending them
so
over.
they can go live a better life? Like go and
Yep,
just
exactly.
here's hope for the best kind of a thing, or
exactly that.
nothing to do with like the mafia, or like
Nothing to do with the mafia. It's
Nothing
just
like
more like
that.
the mom's like, I don't know. There's situations like, hey, let's see how far you can go.
yeah.
So do they take them kids like across, or do they?
The parents don't. They just like hand them off to like un coyote. We call them coyotes, a coyote, and try to like get them as far as they can to like America. You know.
So what if they don't make it? Then what? Like, do the kids go back to the mom?
Well, let's think like in a scenario where they didn't make it to America. They got captured. They get sent back.
So they'll
sent back.
find their parents again, and then they'll
Hopefully they find their parents. You don't know where they could be in Mexico. Maybe the mom took a different route. Who knows? Or like they have no way to contact the parents, and that's like whoa, you know. So they're going back home, back to their like homeland, to like no family. You know what I mean? Like how can they contact their family? That does happen as well. Or sometimes like bad like situations can be like they get captured by like the cartel. The cartel mainly don't have good intentions, you know. So yeah.
Does a cartel kind of crave kids, as in like weapons? You know, like ammunition in order to get what they want, or power, the feeling of in control.
That I know of, I have no idea. That's I don't want to speak on that like something I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean the cartel like they move different. From like what I hear with like the whole agents and like the whole like processing station, like they move different. Sometimes like what they like to do, it's like they like to like double up the money. You know what I mean? But like, oh, like we're charging this much like to get crossover. Then like last minute, like, oh, we'll double it. Like, what do you mean? We just have this like amount of money. Oh, well, I guess like you're not gonna get the full like treatment to like cross over. So like they move funny. You know what I mean? So like just like crossing over, like they move funny. But like with the whole children, like having them as like a leverage, I have no idea. That's something that's
When I think of cartel, I think of like bad shit. Is that true, or is there some that just focus on getting people across the border?
the cartel. It's like a whole cartel of mini business. It's like a trade of mini business. So like they do crossing people over. They do smuggling drugs. They do owning land in their own in Mexico and like trying to have like their own drugs sent in and out of states. You know, so they have a lot of like businesses all over. I feel like when it comes to like them crossing people over, it's more like a majority. You still get your shitty situations, right? Where like a woman just got groped and like sexually harassed by like the whole cartel. You still get those stories, but they're mainly about, all right, we got to cross these people over. You know, they're mostly clean on that. You still get your 1 and 2, like, hey, that's wrong. But they mostly with the whole situation of crossing people over, it's normally like stuck to that route, like stuck to that plan. With the whole drugs and stuff like that, yeah, that's more like iffy. It's more like killing, like more money is involved.
Yeah.
Like crossing people is not their main income.
Sure.
Sort of income. It's more like owning land and like drugs.
Dang. So does that ever bother you per se? Like if you ever go back to Mexico, like ever running into the cartel, and you know what I mean? Like whenever I hear Mexico, you always hear the
Yeah,
bad.
I mean you hear
the bad.
Yeah,
You know, you always think that it's bad, and other than the resorts or it was sketchy or this or that, and it's like, is that all of it or is that just some of it? I mean, I know it's just like even here, you got your certain cities that you stay away from. Did it
Kind of know right from bad, or you know, yep.
But it's like, is that such high over there with
so like it's ruled, you know what I mean? Like especially like the northern states, like in Mexico, we talking about Chihuahua, Sinaloa, Sonora, like Zacatecas, you know, like those are states where like it's ruled. Like those are border states, right? So like drugs get smuggled in. So it's always been a part. It's always will be a part. You know what I mean? It's always like a nonstop war. Whether you see it or whether you don't, like it's always a nonstop war. Within our own people, like my own raza, like my own people, and it's always been a war.
When you say bordering states, is that with the United States?
That's more like just the Mexico side, but like the border states. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So like, yeah. I mean, it's it's. I mean, if you're in the right path, you're not involved. Like your hands are clean. There's normally like not to be nothing like to worry about. That I've seen and what I experienced myself crossing over to Mexico. But you get your occasions like you're like here and there where their family's like heading over and they tell the family like get out the car, and like they leave them stranded there, take their own vehicle and just
Gone.
go out and about. Yeah,
Good luck.
In them bad states.
yeah, and like yeah, just like, anywhere in Mexico. You know what I
Really?
mean? Like yeah.
So is a recruitment like say if you were just walking, probably 17 years old, 18 years old, whatever. You were walking. Would they kind of pull over like,
They
"Come out, you're working for us"?
not really like to recruit, but more like why are you here? Like who do you know here? Like are you tied up with the family that we're all cool about, or are you a contrario? Like are you like a enemy? Like an op. So like yeah, you do get your like your stops and what's your last name? They go by last names. Like they love to know like what families are you tied up to.
Have you ever had any experiences with that?
Yeah,
Really?
for sure, for sure. It's more like in the sense of like me and me and my uncle and like my cousin, just like driving like in his little like beat up truck, and then we get pulled over, and then like big old big old guns to be intimidating, and they ask a lot of questions, be like, who do you know and why are you here and why did you take this route? You're not supposed to take this route like by like after 8. Just stuff like that where like we didn't know, but like they see and they know like these guys are not like our ops or stuff like that. But they do like you can't mess with them. Like you do feel and you do sense these guys don't fuck around. Like,
Like
they're
the realness. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that's like like in America, like you guys said, like we have like the Constitution, right? That doesn't exist out there. Like it's
own.
it's a free for all.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like there's nothing like record like the cops, or you don't do that.
So like laws and
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm
like, there's no
gonna
laws
exercise my
really.
Fifth Amendment. Like, no, what are you talking about? Like, no, you're in our land, and that's how it is. And get out the car, or you're gonna get out the car.
Yeah.
So it's like you notice a lot of like young people out there like straightforward. You know what I mean?
How like when you meant pulled over by like the mafia or like police officer?
So like that's a difference. So you have your police officer, like the federal. You know what I mean, like the state, and then you have your cartel. There's some sections, they depending what state and like what sections in you stay in Mexico, right? But there's some that like ruled by the cartel. So the cartel show up in their Silverado. It has no badging or anything. Like they just show up and we're the law in this part of town. And then you get your police officers like by the state of wherever you're at in Mexico.
Is there any big conflict between the two of them? Like the actual ones working for the federal and then mafia?
Oh yeah,
Or-
it's I mean, people go back and forth, but like the cartel's like way. You like they shit on like the whole state.
So they're the government. Is that
They run
kinda-
it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's I don't know if you guys heard, but like so Chapo, it's like he's like the main dude, he's like the head honcho, like the main dude of like moving drugs in and out of Mexico to America, right? And like receiving stuff from like Colombia out of countries, like drugs, right? Point is, he has a son. His son was captured in Mexico, and the police officers from the state captured him for whatever reason. Like your dad's involved, we're gonna capture you. Word got around, the cartel went berserk. Like Chapo, like the main guy, like he just like gave him the green light. It's like yeah, they want to like get my son. It's on. We talking about like airports were shut down, people like innocent people were killed. Like it was crazy.
That's a whole on war.
Like a war. Like I'll show you videos after. It's like a war.
Just so they'd release his son. And did they?
Oh, yeah, they had to. It was like they had to.
So is this like kicking
crazy
doors
stuff.
down in order to find like it didn't matter police station or no police station, like were they getting this fucking dude no matter who's in the way?
Yeah. It's
Just roaming the streets. Like
Like-
no zoning areas, like you can shoot here,
no,
not over here.
like innocent were like taken away. Like it was horrible.
So he got the point across.
He got the point, and then the federal like they're like, yeah, we're losing this fight, and or it's gonna get like we're gonna spill more blood than we should. So they just give them back.
Just, here you go.
That just shows like the status and like how much the cartel runs out there.
So how would that be? So someone breaks in my house here, and I go and call 911.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
What are the odds they show up and how fast? Like, how does, you know what I mean? Compared to here, where someone could be here in probably within 10 minutes.
Calling the
Calling like
yeah.
call
Nah.
911. You know what I mean? What's the difference? What's the difference like from like here in the U.S.? I mean, you know how it's like call the
Yeah.
police. They're here in 10 minutes.
And
I mean,
then
it's
they're here,
whatever. You know.
mhm. They take it seriously. And
Over
stuff
there,
like that,
is it kind of like a fend for yourself? Like,
Yeah.
hey, we'll come check out the scene
yeah,
afterwards.
it's more
or-
fun for yourself.
Yeah.
But yet again, like people don't. You still get your like stuff like that, right? Your criminals doing like wrong things that are not involved with the cartel. They're just doing bad stuff. But like I feel like people out there, like in Mexico, like you don't really do that. Because like here, like back to what I'm saying, like it's like their rules, their world, right?
Yeah.
So you did this, cool. Like we're not just gonna take you to jail. Like it could be your life, you know.
Dang.
It could be your life. And then here in America, it's like, oh, he's in custody. We have him in handcuffs, and he's gonna be on trial. Like no, you know. So it's like
So you're literally gambling with your life. Over
yeah.
there.
So like you notice a lot of people are like straight, like they're
Yeah, they know like if they kick that door and that
right.
there's probably a
Yeah,
shotgun on the other side.
it's not just going to jail. It's more like my
so
life.
then, what
Yeah.
would happen to per se? The guy shoots the thief or whatever. He breaks in the house, and the guy who's living there, that's his house, and he shoots.
Yeah,
him.
they're
What
more like
happens?
lenient. Like was
That's
he breaking
fine.
in?
Like, hey,
From my
that's your home.
understanding, what I've heard all my life, and what my dad like and like my uncles out there, like yeah, he was in the wrong.
Yeah,
He was
Fair
in the wrong.
game.
Fair game. He was
Yeah.
in the wrong. It's not like back to him. I like to
Yeah.
do the comparison. Like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, but did he give your back to you like when he was running
Right.
away and that wasn't need to shoot? You know what I mean? Or like, how did you empty the clip on him? You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
yeah, dang,
More
Yeah.
to play.
that's crazy.
Dang.
So
That's crazy. I feel like that makes, just by hearing that, I could see how that would definitely, like you
Right.
said, how I heard you say multiple times.
Right.
I said a lot of Mexican people there are very straightforward.
straightforward.
To
Yeah.
the point. I mean, I could understand why
Yeah.
they would have to be
Like
at a young age.
the young
to
the
do
young
that.
people out there in Chihuahua, like they go out, they have fun, but they after fun, like they don't roam the streets like late night. You know what I mean? At one point, like for a long time, they had a curfew, like at 8 p.m. Get your dog, get your roosters, whatever, like your kids in the house.
Yeah.
Dang.
You don't go outside after 8. And then like you might be hearing that, oh, like you can't go outside, but like you don't go outside. Like you know what I mean? Like you don't go outside. Like they're probably moving stuff in and out of the city, or like moving bodies, or like drugs or whatever they're moving. You know what I mean? And they don't want no eyes, no heads out. Cool. And then the sun comes up the next day, and all right. Yeah. So it's like
Everything's good.
different world, man. Different
Right.
world. Back to like the little story, like capturing like the guy's son and stuff like that. But it was an embarrassment for like the police officers. You know, imagine like
Right.
here, like imagine that happens here.
It's like the riots. We had the
Yeah.
riots
Yeah.
last year.
Exactly.
Just really shows how weak you are as, you know what I mean? The weakness of
Yeah.
it's like shit. Like
Exactly.
what
Supposed to be
power do we have
protected.
now?
Yeah,
of,
exactly.
you know.
It was like frowned upon. You know,
Yeah.
like the whole situation was shit, right? But like. Yeah, knowing the fact that the police officers like rolled over, right? Or like you guys know more about like the whole situation that happened in your own city, in your own state.
Mm-hmm.
But like what I understood, like it was more like they rolled over. They knew they fucked up
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
I was like, hey, all right, man, like it is what it is. We're gonna turn over. Then I don't know, like they burned down the police station. I
Yeah.
believe.
Fuck
Like,
yeah, all
what?
kinds of
Think about
shit.
that, like burning down a police station.
Yeah.
Bunch of
What kind of
people.
a signal does that send? You know what I mean? Like it's like wow, man,
That makes you think.
that's not good.
So with
Makes
the
us look bad.
faith, yeah, weak a little bit. Like with the faith, it's like the cartels. Like, do you think that some of them are religious?
Yeah. So like, yeah.
Like, you think that goes against their beliefs?
So like I know that like a lot of them, majority of them, they're religious. They hold God close to them, you know, like forget what they do, but like they hold God close to them. Like one saint that they really like hold on to, like that the cartel really like made the saint to themselves was like, what's his name? He's like a saint that like he wears all green. I forgot the name. But he like they made it to like a cartel saint, you know? All the cartels like pray to the saint, and like they just have him as like the representation, you know what I mean? So yeah, they do keep like God and religion close to them.
Like, do they know they're doing wrong, or do they think they're doing?
San Judas. I'm sorry, I just remember the name. San Judas.
San Judas.
San Judas. Yeah.
That's a god.
That's a saint. That's a saint. You know what I mean? Like somebody that was like recognized in like in the church and the religion church and stuff like that, and became a saint. But like the cartel like pulled it into like a cartel thing. Like
So
all
they
the cartel.
idolized it.
Idolized.
Sure,
There you go. That's
sure.
I couldn't get the words out. Yeah,
Sure.
idolized. Yeah, and like it's San Judas. So yeah, they are really religious and they got the rosaries and they pray and
That is
like
one
that.
thing I seem to notice.
yeah.
That
yeah,
with
for
like
sure.
Mexican culture, it seems like the religion, just in general wise, with because even around here, there's a lot of Mexicans around here too, and you notice that it does seem like a very strong like religion is out. I've noticed that it seems like they're all very strong with their religion.
Right.
I've noticed, which is
Right.
very cool. Or
Yeah.
compared
It's a
to
strong belief
Yeah.
within them. Like here, people go to church, and after church is done, got the whole week. Them like looks like they rep it, like that's
Yeah.
them. That's like what you're talking, kind of like with the identity, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So that's something I could definitely see for sure.
Right.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I don't know. Like you're going through stuff, pray. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pray and pray and pray. Like it's rare when like a Mexican or like a Chicano like doesn't really like or a Hispanic person like doesn't really believe in God. You know?
Mm,
Like we pray. You know what I mean? We hold it close to us.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang. So kind of getting into a little bit of the religion stuff like that. What's your guys' take on most like holidays?
Holidays like when
As in like Christmas, Easter, like all that stuff, like that's all good. Like Halloween, like what's all your guys' thoughts on all that stuff?
yeah.
All your big holidays, like you celebrate all of them. Some of them you guys got. I know you got
Got
like
your
Cinco
own.
de Mayo and like
Cinco de Mayo.
that
yeah.
kind of a thing. But is there some you hit, some you don't? That goes with the religion and against, or
So like off the rip, Halloween is not it. You know, like Halloween is not it. So
Yeah.
you don't really see it like oh it's Halloween like no.
yeah.
But
Is that even a thing? Like in
Yeah.
Mexico and any of that? Like is that is Halloween a thing
no
for like Mexico? Like that's
no
not.
not like October 31st. No,
Yeah.
it's no
No,
It's
okay.
more like if you want to like be on like the same page of like the Day of the Dead is like the closest thing to like Halloween. You know, because like it's more like the afterlife and like the whole death and that's how kind of is like Halloween, like you know what I mean, like
Kinda gotta-
spooky and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's more like the Day of the Dead. It would be the closest thing to like
Sure.
Halloween.
Is that like
Sure.
our Cinco de Mayo? Like like we don't practice it, but yet it's a day, right? Is that kind of how it is for Halloween?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Exactly, that's how it is. I mean, but other than that, like Day of the Dead, we do Cinco de Mayo, right? And then we do Semana Santa. That's like in April. That's like Holy Week. Mm-hmm. That's
So
what
is
we
that
do.
like our Easter in comparison?
Exactly.
Is it okay?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. That's a big one. Like a lot of people like they like to like that's a big holiday. And I think it's like the longest holiday too. Like
For
about
a whole week?
Yeah, you would
Really?
take us like a week.
Dang.
Christmas as well. Christmas like you know what I mean.
What gets practiced during that week? Like just prayers?
yeah.
Meeting or like family together or what?
We get like two sides, right? You get like people like they have that holiday. It's like it's like a week long. Well, let's go out to the beach because like it's warming up. It's in like April and like so it's time to go out to the beach and so you get that hectic spring break vibes, and then you get your like hey and like my Lord and Savior died. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good Friday and stuff like that. Like hey, like we gotta remember him, and then Easter happens and comes around, which is Sunday of the Resurrection and stuff like that.
So it's a whole week.
It's like a whole week, La Semana Santa.
So like everything like for work wise, like is everything shut down for a whole week?
Not shut down. I mean some weeks I seem like it's mainly supposed to be for a whole week because like it says in the name Semana Santa. Semana is week and Holy Week, but like some jobs, I mean to each their own, right? It might be like just a weekend
Sure.
with Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Oh,
And then
sure.
some might be a whole week. So
What is it or how is it with Cinco de Mayo? Like to me like when I think of gosh, I don't know, like over in China where they have the dancing dragons and whatnot, is that kind of like is it like a festival like that, like where it's really hyped up and
well, like people think like Cinco de Mayo is like most like it's like a Mexican thing. Yes, it's cool and like cool and all, but it's mainly like because like Cinco de Mayo is mostly like how would you compare it? Like a 4th of July, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
your 4th of July is technically for us is September 9th. September 9th is our Independence Day for us Mexicans. Don't quote me, September 9th or along the lines, but it's in September. That's, yeah,
Yep.
but that's where it's like our Independence Day.
Really?
Yeah. So it's not really Cinco de Mayo. It's more like
So-
September 9th, I believe.
So do you guys do like the fireworks, like the same
Oh,
thing,
man,
kind of like it's the
yeah.
same
It's
thing,
crazy.
same vibe. It's just like
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like we do the whole fireworks and our fireworks out there, like they're on steroids. Like they're crazy. They're like gunpowder. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, just wait till y'all come in Phoenix. Like,
So it's
oh,
like
man.
the real deal. They don't fuck
The
around.
whole,
you
the whole
know?
shebang, bro. Like they get loud as fuck. Like
like,
crazy.
That's like in Minnesota. I don't know how they didn't even ban fireworks yet or firecrackers. Seems like everything, like all the good shit, gets banned.
Yeah.
Like here, what
Yeah.
what can you buy?
I think firecrackers are banned here.
Are they
Can
actually?
you buy firecrackers here?
I don't know. What's the problem?
Dude,
I don't know.
Most
They
time
banned
you can buy like
everything.
them little snap pops that you throw on the
Oh,
concrete.
Yeah, that's about it.
Black cats or
You know,
whatever. Yeah.
flames can't be higher than 10 feet. You know, I mean,
Get
most
outta
people
here.
buy them anyways
Yeah.
from across the state. But yeah, literally, I think the only ones you can buy, like, they can't reach a certain height, like maybe 20
Yeah.
feet or something, because, you
Yeah,
know,
no,
God
man.
forbid anyone has fun around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you
You
do,
know?
you'd be paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the fireworks out there, they're crazy. Like nothing you have ever seen before.
Really?
They're loud.
Really?
Loud. You can see the like the chalk wave. Like
Shit, dude.
it makes a
Yeah.
shock wave.
Can you
It's
feel
crazy.
it?
You can feel it in your chest, in your sternum.
Yeah, like that
boom.
loud boom.
No, it's
Boom.
crazy.
Damn,
like,
dude.
just wait. Like I'm gonna try to like when y'all come, I'm gonna make sure I have a couple.
Oh, man.
Like spend like 100, 200 worth of fireworks and just have a
Yeah.
blast.
You guys, like, roll them down the street and shit? Or
So like
what?
yeah, so like the popular one is like una paloma. Paloma. It's like a little triangle.
Okay.
It's like a little triangle and like in like paper news, like wrapped up with like gunpowder and like a whole like what's it called? Like
Fuse?
the whole fuse. There you go. Out of like the whole triangle, like paper wrapped up, right?
Yeah.
Is this homemade?
This is homemade. This like
Oh, you guys make your own homemade
no,
fireworks?
we don't make it, but like
Oh.
somebody makes it in their backyard, right?
Oh,
We don't make
that's
it
right. So,
homemade. Yeah,
okay.
but they have the palomas and then they have the troncos. Los troncos. That's like they call it the log, and it's just like a log like this, red or black, whatever color, like the whole like string coming out of it, and those are crazy. Like they go from like small ones like, and they have some big ones, some XLs. Like you gotta light it and like run.
So it's like,
Like
this
crazy.
explodes on the ground, or
This
does it shoot
explode.
up?
I mean, what we used to do, we used to like light it up in our hand, and then we used to wait until like it's halfway.
Oh no, dude.
Oh,
And like I'm telling you, that shit pops in your hand, like you're like
Yeah.
Captain Hook.
yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. So like we wait halfway and then we throw it up in the air and it pops in the air, and which just makes it louder instead of on the ground.
Yeah.
So is that like tannerite? You know, like
Shoot.
do these
Golly.
the ones you talking about? Do they shoot up or is it like do they blow up on the ground?
So yeah, the ones I was talking about, those two, they blow up on the ground. They just pop.
That's it. Literally just powder sitting there.
Powder just in there, ready to get popped. I mean,
Whoa.
but they do have like the big old.
Ones you launch up
Yeah.
the mortars
All the
or
way up, yeah.
whatever. Or them. Dang,
Yeah,
man.
man, it's crazy.
You guys don't fuck around.
No, bro.
Not
It's
at
like it's
all.
crazy. Yeah,
Shit.
I'll show you guys. It's something that's on the bucket list for sure.
Yeah,
have a-
definitely.
Yeah.
We have an uncle. This was a few 4th of Julys ago. I'm not sure what he had. I think was it helium in a balloon, or he tied something to a balloon and he shot it and it was fucking loud.
Oh yeah.
Rob, do you remember that? That 4th
Yeah.
of July. I don't know what it was. Like whatever it was, it caught your
Right.
attention like that.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yo.
fucker only floated.
This was
up
some
like
homemade
15,
shit.
20 feet.
Yeah.
or something too, and it was
Shot it, whatever it was. Boom.
That's
That was shit you
yeah.
felt in your chest for sure. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, is this?
Turn around, smile, and your hair's fucking blowing. You're like, damn, this is great.
Your eyelashes are going.
yeah. Yeah, you're like, oh, fingers there, cool.
Yeah, Cama, I wanted to ask you.
Go ahead.
You recently had an experience of skydiving.
I have.
How did that go for you?
It was great. It was something that's
First time?
first time.
First time.
Oh man, it's something. You know what I mean?
So
I
what,
went-
what desire did you have to do that? Like, what made you want to do it? Just like, hey, you know what? Fuck it. You know, was it
Just-
one of them, or you afraid of heights? No.
No, I never been afraid of
Okay.
heights. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to say like I'm like a crazy dude, like, but I love the heights. I love
Really?
my heart like pounds. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Like the adrenaline-
I love
rush.
it.
I love that.
I love
Okay.
it. You know what
Okay.
I mean? And the reason why I did it, I was in San Diego when I did it. It was like something that's like I'm always gonna remember. And I was in San Diego for like a year, and like my year was wrapping up, and my person was like leaving. You know what I mean? So I was like, let's do something crazy before we leave. Like skydive it
So
is.
that
You
was
know what I
it.
mean? Like, yeah, it was crazy. So I signed up. I didn't think about it. Locked in 2 tickets. And it was crazy. It was like early morning, and we went. And
So when you go up to the sky, or you get in the airplane, you start going, any regrets cross your mind?
nah,
Nothing.
Nah, it's all mental.
Not looking down like, fuck, maybe
No.
I shouldn't have signed.
I was the last one on the airplane, so I was the first one out.
Oh,
Because the first one in the airplane is all the way in the
Yep.
back, and then the last one on the airplane is the first one out.
Yeah.
I was right by the door. I was seeing from ground zero all the way up. You know what I mean? So it was something, but no regrets. You know what I mean? I didn't feel scared.
how was it when you jumped?
Yeah, the initial
man.
out the door, like we're like, fuck.
It's
Here we go,
unreal.
It's real.
Like, it's unreal. It's unreal. Like it feels like no, this can't be it. I'm not gonna jump.
I feel like that sucks you so quick when you jump out of that door. Like,
So
whoop, yeah, gone. Like,
Yeah.
oh, where'd he go?
Did
Like,
it
is that-
change?
did you feel it? Like, did you feel like the
Yeah.
being the sucked? Like,
oh man, I mean like what I pictured was like we're gonna jump off and we're gonna go like bust a left, because like the delay or something like that. But like it was just more like just downwards.
Really?
Like yeah, it was downwards and
were you guys spinning for a little bit? Like, does it take like a minute or two just to kind of?
so like thank
Catch your
God
balance?
my guy that was like strapped onto me, like he knew what's up.
Nope.
What's up is stuck. So he knew how to like maneuver it, and then he tapped me on my shoulder. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like hands up. I'm like, oh my God, So and like my fall, like he was like he told me I was able to hear him. He was like, look at the horizon. That's how you locate yourself by looking at the horizon.
Like leveling yourself out.
Yeah, like sometimes like I know what he meant. You spin out like you're like, what is going on? You can't find like where is up is down, down is up. True. He's like, look at the horizon. I heard him, and I was like, I look, and only see like the ocean and like the sky. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay. And then like we settled down. And, yeah. From there, it was
Yeah.
just enjoy the fall. Yeah.
So like, if it wasn't for you to like, would he be able to stabilize anyways?
He would have
kinda?
stabilized anyways. Yeah.
But
But,
he was
like
just
he was just
telling
telling me.
you.
Yeah, it was more like for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like, find the horizon, and I did. And I was like, all right.
So when you jumped, did you kind of get to enjoy it, or did you have to calm yourself down and then kind of get to enjoy it? You know, like with the adrenaline, like
Yeah.
were you so like tunnel vision, or were you like,
Yeah.
man, this is fucking sweet?
No, I mean like the first like what 15 seconds, like I was like, yo, what is going on?
Yep.
After I stabilized, like after I was like, all right, cool. Like we're like going completely like down. We're not like spinning out. Like, all right, let me enjoy it. And we did, Like I told him, like don't take it easy on me. Like let's do some flips after.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Let's like go shoot, like be a bullet, kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta like put your hands back and like on some Naruto stuff, You gotta feel like yeah, man, it's crazy. So it was something that's like it's the first and not the last. Like I told myself I'm gonna do it in my
Boom.
home state. Yeah.
So it's like one of them things too, where you're going down,
Right.
and like once you, like you said, you stabilized and you kind of flattened out a little bit and got going. And I know you said you were not really scared of heights anyway, so maybe it really wasn't much for you. But
Right.
for someone who is like me, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Right.
Is it one of them things where it's like once you jumped, you're like, all right,
Yeah.
like, let's just enjoy it. Like we're here. Like I get it, it's scary, but is it not as scary that what do you do? You know what I mean? Like you may
You're
as well
there.
enjoy it. Is
Yeah.
it like that kind of a?
Well, like I could see and I could understand like putting on the suit, walking to the airplane, taking off and getting elevation, like that could be intimidating. So like for somebody that's scared, it's more like just grab onto yourself, like just it's mind over matter.
Yeah.
But once you jump, it's like you jump.
It's like there you
Like,
go.
well, you can't. There's no reset button. Like
Yeah.
you
No.
just pray the dudes like behind you know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then that parachute opens. But yeah, once you jump, like there's no like, all right, put me back. I regret it. Like I'm not taking
Yeah.
it back. No, it's like you're gone. You're like
When he did pull that
Yeah.
parachute, how was it? You know, it's like in the movies, like, oh fuck, like an instant stop. Was it
Yeah.
an instant stop, or was it more of like a?
it was harsh. I'll tell you that. It was like
Yeah.
pulled hard. You know what I mean? Like once you pulled it, like I kind of felt it. And once like it fully expanded, like the parachute, boom, like it kind of like tugged me. You know what I mean? Like it didn't let me drop anymore. Like, but yeah, like once like that parachute opened, I was like, hey, like this is more calming. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Instead of
yeah.
like just wind hitting your face, like looking like Shaggy Dog, it was more like, all right, now we're coasting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Now
right.
It's like
Enjoying
smooth.
it.
Yeah.
Dang.
When he
Sure.
did pull it, did he kind of tell you like, okay, like put your arms together just so
Right.
nothing would get caught? Is that?
Yeah, it was more like, all right, just hands like, just put your hands right here, like on my like little, I don't know,
Harness,
like yeah,
vest?
harness, give or take, yeah, harness. And he was like, just enjoy the ride. You know what I mean? And then I asked him, I was like, hey, you mind if I steer a little bit with the little parachute? I was like, hey, let me steer, and he did. He let me steer. He's like, all right, if you want to go this way, you pull one side down, you keep one side up, and you start moving. You know, so it's crazy.
Them things can really get whipping around, can they not?
I
Like if
mean-
you just crank it one side down.
Oh my God, yeah, like yeah. So this was one guy, like he knew what he was doing. It's not his first rodeo,
Nope.
homie was just pulling one side, and he looked like he was about to die. Like homie was just like, boom, boom,
Oh, really?
That quick too?
like crazy. Like I thought he was like, oh, like he's about to die, and like no, like he knew what he was doing, but he was just boom, 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 like circles and circles. Yeah.
Dang. So everyone that went up with you jumping out had someone attached to them?
Always, yeah.
Okay, so it's never just a
Yeah.
singles.
So like the first 4 to 5 jumps, you're with somebody. It depending what state, they have different regulations. But like the first 4 or 5, you have to have somebody.
Sure.
And then after 4, you have to be registered like in a class and take like a class or 2, and then that's where they test you out. Like, okay, we'll let you like jump solo, but you got to take some classes and then see how it goes. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's something that like I want you guys to experience too.
No, man.
Oh, come on now.
No.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on. Jeez, I'm scared to climb up on a 14-foot ladder. I get all shaky.
Yeah.
Come on, jeez.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah. Maddie and I were at the Swanville Carnival here a few years ago. I was getting sketched out in the Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel. And it's not even a big one.
Yeah,
14
but they're
foot ladders.
sketchy, though.
Yeah, especially you see the people kind of running them.
Yeah.
No offense to them, but it's like, did you tighten that bolt?
Yeah.
Did you do it? And it's like these things are
Tweaking a little
rocking. I'm
bit.
like, I'm not willing to fuck with this. Let alone
Yeah.
jump on an airplane, man. I just don't think it's in me.
Mind over matter.
He's
He's like, it doesn't cut it.
I ain't doing it.
It's
Yeah.
gonna take a lot of mind, man.
Yeah.
I do want to try getting a license. I'm scared of heights. Like
Right.
I just there's something about it. I never like playing around with it. I do want like an airplane license or a helicopter license for some weird reason though. Like even though like I'll be scared to do it, I just feel like having a license would be sweet.
Like being a pilot, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe doing some work or something. Like I was watching a video of these people, they have a little helicopter in their crop dusting fields.
Right.
So it's just like a little 2-seater and they have tanks and whatnot underneath the helicopter. And these guys are very experienced pilots, you know. So they land on top of this trailer, they'll fill up with this fluid of whatever they're spraying,
Right.
and they get super low to the ground. And they're quick, like
Right.
that's like playing GTA in first person, trying to weave in and out of buildings.
Yeah.
And that's real life. Like that looks fucking sweet. And I think that's what kind of made me
Yeah.
want to do that for some goofy reason.
I mean, doesn't really matter like what made you go like towards that, but like go for it.
Yeah,
mean, we
like, I
live-
think it'd be a sweet hobby for sure. Just
Yeah.
because I just bought a drone and it was sweet just to see a different point of view besides on the ground.
Yeah.
It's like I'm seeing it on a controller here. And it's like if you're actually up in the sky seeing it for yourself, like that would be
Yeah.
kind of a different experience.
I mean, why not? I mean, take a course, whatever.
yeah, I was
whatever.
really looking into it.
Don't.
sure.
I mean, you saying it, cool. That's like a start,
And then
but like
doing it.
Let's go towards it.
No.
Worst case scenario, hey, it takes whatever. La la la. All right. You know, at least I tried. At least I approached it. Like go towards it.
I tried. I
Yeah.
had a minor a few years ago, and I had to do some community service, and I was working at the airport, and just nice fellas that worked there, you know. So I was there to sweep the floors, whatever, and I got talking to these people. They own some airplanes themselves, and they're in the hangars, and I told them like, yeah, you know, never really flown an airplane before, never really got the experience of it, and they were kind of like, well, do you want to go? You know, like we can take you up. As I'm there on community service,
Yeah.
I'm like, that dude, like that'd be freaking sweet. You know, just go cruise around town for a little bit, come back. But underage and not having the parents there, never did go. But it's like, I was trying to wheel them.
Yeah.
That was sweet. You know, but
You got the green light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it wasn't in your favor, but you had the green light.
and having them talk, and even like I know you say you have to radio in when you go and plow. Like that's seems very complicated. And like just the language, like I know because for a while there when you radio in, like it was backwards.
Yeah, it's all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Talking to tower, you know, it's like all kind. I mean, that's its own language.
Yeah.
I
just find that
never
super
my
sweet.
strong suit.
Super sweet.
And mine was just plain Jane, like going to just plow snow off the ramp and stuff. So I'm just like, yeah, 638, permission to plow snow, or you know what I mean? Like, oh, permission to cross the runway. What you know what I mean? And it's just like sometimes they'd radio in. Like most of the time, if it was like Miller Advisory or whatever, they would be like, oh yeah, you're good, you know, whatever, just go. Like they know that we're just out there to plow snow. And then like sometimes Tower would be on there and be like, oh well, you know, we need a permission 638. Or can you copy back and say, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm just trying to plow the snow.
Yeah,
I don't know my
that's
job.
it. It's not even
Like,
a
am I
job.
good or not? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's just it. But I got another question with kind of how you were telling Riley to go for it with like his, you know,
the
his
whole
pilot license
like the
and
whole
whatnot.
looking into it. Yep.
What's like your ultimate like goals and dreams and like careers and like what's your plan with?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So like, my plan is to be like, well, I got two. Well, I haven't decided which one I want to do. I looked into being like a nurse or RN, or being like a, what's it called? What is that called? Paramedic, but working for the same company that I'm currently in.
Sure.
You know.
Yep.
And the reason why like I want to be a paramedic in my own company, it's because like, well, the pay, right? And not just that, like it's I become a provider. It's a provider, you know what I mean? Instead of being like a medical staff, I'll be a provider, you know?
Sure. Yep.
So it's like now I can make like more deeper decisions on the patient, stuff like that.
Sure.
In the whole like in the whole workforce of like working with the border, you know?
Yeah.
But like I thought about being a nurse, and yeah.
Yeah. So with that whole you being in the medical field then and dealing with all that stuff, what got you into that? What's your whole story with that?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, I didn't like school, right? Like it wasn't part of the whole situation that I want to figure out what I want to do. So when I was playing college ball, I knew I was gonna go pro or like continue. So I hung up the glove, had a good run, went to the construction site, worked there for like 2 years, and it was good pay. It was good, but like it was not like we talked about. It was not it. So like I remember one day and like I was just like, yeah, back in the day I was complaining to my mom. I was like, Mom, like, what am I doing? And she was like, go to school. Casually, she's like, go to school. And I was like, I don't like school. It's like, let's call it what it is. I don't like school. I don't want to be a part of it.
No.
And she was like, just try it out. She's like, who can you talk to, like, to see exactly what you want to do? And I was like, maybe a counselor. I was like, who knows? So I set up an appointment. The next day I called during my lunch, and I was like, hey, can I come in for like an appointment, talk about like career choices and stuff like that? And they were cool. They were like, yeah, swing by. Have you like registered with us? I'm like, yeah, like I was a student like a while back, but that was when I was an athlete. But yeah, like I'm still got my records in there. So the day came around where like I set up my appointment, and she was like, just start naming stuff. She was like, do you want to do this? No. Do you want to do that? No. And we're just going off a list. And then she was like, I see you as like a firefighter or like an EMS. I was like, EMS? I don't even know what that is. Like, what? She probably like disrespected me. I didn't even know what it is. I was like, EMS? I'm not an EMS. So I was like, yeah, I mean, what is it? She was like, look, this is more hands-on. This is more like, cool. Like, this is more like helping out people. Like, you don't like paperwork. You don't like being in a cubicle. I was like, no. She's like, well, try this out. And I did. It was like the EMT 101. I remember she signed me up. She had me in a class with like the following semester. And I was like, all right, cool. When I started the class, like the first week, I fell in love.
What was it that connection?
Yeah, it was mainly like the whole like, all right, if you see somebody on the ground, check for a pulse. You know what I mean? And like if you don't get a pulse, CPR. It's like the whole like ABC and like OPQRST, like that's what caught my attention. Like knowing the fact that somebody's on the edge of dying,
And you can help them.
I can help.
Yeah.
And like the whole like peril with the partner, and like how are you gonna put like a MPA, OPA, and stuff like that. Like it's like hands on, and like I'm really about hands on. That's what caught my attention. I'm like, for sure. And
So-
like I stuck around.
Were you nervous, like at first signing up into it? Were you like, oh man, like, because did you have to pay for that course, or was this just like a trial? Like, how did that all work?
Yeah,
like,
so,
full
like-
commitment.
Right. So financially, thank God, I had FAFSA, like student financial aid.
Nice.
Yeah, so I had that. So I was like, I have nothing to lose. You know, it's
Yeah.
not coming out of pocket. I was like, hey.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I got I think like a Pell Grant or whatever. So like
Yep.
I actually gain money.
Heck
like
yeah. Yeah.
it covers the classes and like it gives me a check, whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, so I was like, there's nothing to lose. I was like, I stopped working. And my dad and my mom told me like if I go back to school, like they're gonna help me with my needs. You know what I mean? Not with my wants, with my needs, right?
Yep.
So they're like, go back to school, and I did, and I fell in love, and I just kept going.
Dang.
I was like pretty good at it. I was like passing my course finals and then my national registry and did the whole thing.
Are your parents supportive of, like, say if you wanted to start your own business, would they or do they support you in that, or do they kind of want you to do the 9 to 5?
Like business wise,
Yeah, like taking the risk, like entrepreneurship. Like, do they support? Would they support your idea in order to start a business, or do they want you to just play it safe?
so I can tell you right now, like I know for a fact my dad wouldn't. Like he would be like, no, that's a negative for him.
Why? Like, just a risk for him? Like,
He-
it might not work out.
Yeah, the whole like the possibility of it not paying out, it not
Yeah.
working out, and like time is valuable. Like you can waste my money, you can waste my material things. Just don't waste my time because time is precious.
Yeah.
Like Bill Gates can't even get like last month. You know what I mean? Like it's something that's like it's here and it's gone.
Yeah.
So like the fact that he's like you invest in like entrepreneurship and stuff like that, and it doesn't pay out. Damn.
What about your mom? How is she kind of
My
see
mom
this?
is like whatever I want, like whatever I want to like go after. She's like, just do it by like with the grace of God. She's like, do it with like a pure heart and go after it all the way.
Your mom sounds like a god. You know, like she sounds like she's
Yeah.
full of wisdom, and
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
very cool to
she-
hear.
She's You know, how everybody says like, oh, like my mom's the best. Like, yeah, I feel like my mom's the best. Like,
Dude, after even talking about her last night, like I want to meet her.
oh, she's a sweetheart.
I do.
Very-
I really
yeah, she's a
do. You
sweetheart.
know
Like,
what
yeah.
I mean? It's like for sure
for
what's
sure.
gonna happen. Because
I mean, my own buddies, like they talk to my mom like as therapy. Like y'all understand what I just said? Like they come to my house not for me, not to hang out with me, but like talk to my mom.
That's so cool. Though.
Yeah, she's
That's
like
so
just
cool.
she's great. Like
Is she good at like providing not a path, but kind of guides you? Like,
yeah, it's big time. Like she knows what she's not about. You know, she well, like her life is revolved around like God, right?
Yep.
Her religion and her faith, but like she knows how to like implement what's reality, what's going on with that, you know, with God and best of both worlds, you know. So it's like it's good. Like sometimes like like I'll be out and about and I come home, like my buddy's car parked there. I'm like, what? And then they're talking in the living room. I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So like if my friends like see something with my mom, like she's somebody like I could talk to, easygoing. It's like, of course I'm gonna take advantage of that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna approach her as well.
You know what's super cool with that is that your friends feel comfortable enough that
Right.
just like how we kind of talked about, like even just like mental health the other day or whatever, on how it's like how they feel that they can go talk to her and talk about them things that they might not feel comfortable talking to with other
let
people.
them guard
and,
down.
Yeah, and just go and basically be vulnerable and
Right.
to really get the real problem out and the guidance, the wisdom, you know, of just how she sees things maybe a little differently.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like to help provide like a path for them, a different outlook, maybe. Is what just that cool guide. Really,
Yeah.
you know, it's like that's
that takes a
where do you
special
find
person.
that, man? Where do you
Yeah,
find that?
I mean-
Truthfully, where?
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I'm grateful to have her, you know.
Yeah,
She's somebody that like I want, you know what I mean? Like that's been like so part of my life in every aspect where like I look for a woman that has her characteristics or you know what I mean? Cuz like and it's scientifically proven like you go after a woman that's like, you know what I mean? Normally you go after a woman that your mom, it's like like if your mom is like a certain way, you typically end up with somebody along the lines, you know?
yeah,
Not always, but that's how normally. But like for me, like I know I have to find somebody that has the same characteristics, values, morals, and ethics, like as
Yeah.
my mother. You know?
yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
I think that is a really special person. Just in order, like your friends, you know, like young, like literally, how often do you hear people going over to your buddy's place to talk to their mom?
Right.
Like that takes a special person, like guard down, arms open, like
Right.
this is it. This is I'm here to talk to you, and there's no judgment. There's no
judgment at
There's
all.
no backlash from it.
Yeah, and I tell my person like when like she gets like well my person like when she gets like close like to home and stuff like that where I was born and my mom's gonna be in the same place as she is like I want my person to be close to my mom. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
like yeah, you learn from a lot from that lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that. You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
good-
Like,
good
so I'm
sense
like,
of
yeah,
feeling.
like use her, like talk to her, like whatever you probably didn't have in your life, like use it. Like my mom, like find it with my mom, you know. And if not with my mom, then she's a great guy to find it with God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
Dang.
To this day, like I ask questions like, Mom, how'd you, like, what made you pick my dad, or like my dad pick you? Like it's black and white. Like my mom is like loving, she's upbeat, she's like a social butterfly. You know what I mean? She's close to God, and then my dad, before like or early on in their marriage, like before like I was born and like my sister was barely born, it was like completely opposite. It was more like he's like man, a few words. I'll tell you that right now. He doesn't speak. He just to himself, selective of people who he hangs out with. You know, even to like with me and his own son, like he doesn't really like express or show like love and affection, and he didn't believe in God. You know, so the fact that my mom chose my dad and my dad chose my mom is like yin yang, like it's black and white.
That's so crazy.
That's how I describe their marriage. It's like black and white, like yin yang. It's crazy. Like my mom brings my dad up, and then my dad brings my mom down whenever she's like maybe like in her head too much or whatever. You know what I mean? Like grounds her, not like in a negative sense, but grounds her. But like, hey, this is what it is. My dad's really realistic.
Yeah.
Really realistic. Back to the entrepreneurship, he will not, because it's always a risk.
Yep.
So he's like, what it is, 9 to 5. You know you're gonna get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, it's like they give
That's
each
that
other
balance, though. They always say like the opposites track kind of for certain
Opposite
things like
tracks.
that. It's like
Opposite
you know,
tracks.
it's like that's so true. Like you said, humbles each other for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. Like my dad came a long way. You know what I mean? He fell in love with God, but like the person that showed him, you know what I mean? Like the way to God was my mom. I mean, we go to church on Sundays. He didn't go to church on Sundays in the beginning. He was like, nope, you go with the kids. And it was like that for a long time. So he had like a one moment where like he felt the Holy Spirit and felt God. And that's what like awakened his spiritual relationship, and my mom just guiding him, you know.
Yeah.
Showing them the ropes and what it is, what it isn't.
So your mom must have never, just like how we talked about last night, just like how you never push anything like that. And your mom must have been like the same way with your dad then, like never push religion on him, just kind of like, okay, that's
It's
your,
here if you want.
There you go.
Is that how that was?
Yeah, yeah. My mom knows, and she's like fully aware of like you don't force anything. Anything you do, you don't force anything.
Yeah.
You don't force a drywall up a wall, you know, and like crack a corner, you know. So you don't force anything. So my mom was just like, would you like to come with us on Sundays? No. He's tired? Okay. Next Sunday, what do you like? No? Okay. She's not sitting there arguing.
Yeah.
She's not there like making a fuss and I'm gonna get back at him, you know. It's like no. But like he slowly bit by bit started turning his head. He's like, okay. And then he approached and he got an awakening, you know what I mean? Like something that like a retreat, sort of say. That's where like it first hit him way back. This was like 2000 and something, right? Early 2000s.
Yeah.
And that's just incline from there.
With hanging out in the Phoenix, what do you guys do on a Friday night?
Yeah, I mean, if you're 21, you're drinking.
Yeah?
You're drinking.
Is that, like, that's the move.
It's nightlife. It's like Phoenix is known for the nightlife, and like the sunsets. But that's about it. Sunsets and nightlife. Like from east to west, north and south, like it's nightlife. You go from Scottsdale to Old Town to like Tempe, Mill Ave to downtown Phoenix. You go from Westgate on the west side. Like yes.
So being young, kind of full of piss and vinegar, like is there a lot of commotion, like a lot of fights, a lot of get to see that often?
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of commotion, a lot of envy. There's a lot of envy in Phoenix. I'll call it what it is.
Is that what the loyalty that you kind of go back to?
Yeah. So you see loyalty. You separate loyalty from like having a good time, you know, because like there's a lot of envy and a lot of ugly. So once you see actual like somebody that's low, like I gotta hold on to this person, for sure. But the whole nightlife in Phoenix is like it's scary. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you don't know what's gonna pop off.
Yeah, I believe that.
Is there that eerie feeling like that it's in the air?
Yeah,
like is that constant?
Yeah. Everywhere you go. It's Phoenix is it's its own beast. Like you gotta respect it. You can't just I see some hustlers like diving in and they get burnt real quick. They're from Texas, they're from anywhere else and they wanna come to Phoenix running shit and like they're like people like they wanna like take on Phoenix. Wanna like take on Phoenix, whatever it is, right? Be like the main center of attention, whatever it is, right? And they get burnt. Cause like Phoenix like it's a lot of
Like swallows them up. Gone.
exactly.
Not your home.
Yeah. So like you kind of got to be a wallflower, but yet again you can't be a wallflower. You know
Is it comparison to LA?
LA? No, LA is different. LA, it's like Phoenix. You have shooters. You have people that like get down, but yet again, like LA, like I haven't lived in LA, But you know what they say about Compton and Inglewood, like I can't just go off what people say. I gotta like be a part of it, right? To like understand. Yeah, I don't know how they go. I really don't know how LA goes.
Could only imagine though.
I don't know if
Yeah,
I'd want to find out.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
With the shooters, so like with the drive-bys and like the whole kind of atmosphere being around it, is there like a heavy police presence?
Yeah.
Or is it kind of
yeah.
like in
Yeah,
Mexico where it's like kind of fend for yourself?
No. Well, like no. So where I'm from the west side, right? It's a lot of police, a lot of cops, because they know it's a not a good place. Like where I'm from, it's like the hood area. A lot of shootings. I mean, it's open carry out there too, just to top it off. But it's a lot of like, hey, you gotta. I mean, I feel like, believe it or not, like I know like it's open like carry, but like I feel like it's kind of it's good and bad because you know like it's open carry, so you're carrying, I'm carrying, and then that kind of makes you back up, be like, hey, I don't know what you're capable of, I don't know what you got under that car window, like you could be ready, you know. So like I'm not gonna make a like road rage is not a thing out there.
Yeah. I suppose. Yeah.
So it's like a lot of things like, hey, I'm gonna slow it down. I know I'm mad. I got emotions towards a person, whatever, but I'm gonna slow it down because I don't know what they're capable of. Especially the randoms. You don't really do anything like that.
See, I for me, I would think the complete opposite, as in, since it's more populated out there, more different mindsets. You know, think different. I feel like it would happen more often where people would test each other all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does happen, but like on your day to day, you see a lot of people like pump the brakes. But you still get your shootings and so like crazy stuff, you know. Still get your
get the feel of that.
You still get the jungle.
Because you kind of had a little bit of experience with a little bit of a drive-by kind of a thing, right?
Yeah,
Haven't you?
Yeah.
Possibly back in the day or whatever.
Yeah, back in the day.
Little something happened there.
I wouldn't know what or why, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah, or just like you said, maybe it wasn't pointed towards you or anything. Just happened to be like you're in the area.
Maybe he's cracked out. It's like, boy's lit, and he's just shot out of the house. You don't know, or maybe like it was towards my head or somebody or something. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, it's you always hear the ghetto birds and the helicopters all night. That's something that's like.
Really?
Yeah, you're gonna learn how to fall asleep with, you know what I mean? Because at night,
With the what now?
like ghetto birds, like the helicopters. That's what we call them, ghetto birds.
Ghetto birds, really?
Yeah.
I was sitting there like, what?
Yeah, that's what we.
Ghetto birds, huh?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell? Just flying around all the time, like this constant, because so much shit going on.
Sometimes your house gets like lighted on.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because they're trying to find
it's
this?
right there. You know, what I mean? It's by your house. Yeah.
Man.
So you just see your windows all lit up and like, and then you hear like the microphone, like stop running or like it's all in the whole This I don't want to say it's cool, but like it's something. Yeah. Phoenix is cool, man. I feel like y'all should come out. I know, like after all this I said, y'all should really come out.
No,
because it's cool. You know what I mean? And I'll show you guys a nice area. Then it's what it is.
What's it like? What's a typical night at your household in Phoenix? Like
typical night
with your mom and dad. You know what I mean? Like at their house. Like is this some like what's it like? Typical night.
So like typical night. Is it a weekend or it's a weekday?
Dude, I want to hear both.
If it's a weekday, we're all busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My mom from like she works at the church. Duh, right?
Yep.
She's gonna work at the church. You know, be close to her Lord Savior. You know.
Yeah.
And then my sister, she goes to school at the moment. She's trying to be a radiologist.
Oh, nice.
And then my dad work. You know what I mean? Work. So if it's a weekday, we all wake up. I mean, we all say what's up if we see each other in the hallways or whatever. And if we don't, then you grab your breakfast and get to it. I mean, wherever you gotta be. Weekdays, not a lot going on. And like I probably see you in the afternoon, I'll probably see you at night. You know? So if I'm working, like I work, I get out of work, I come back home, eat. If I see my mom in the kitchen, she's probably the first one out in the home. You know what I mean? So it's nice seeing my mom there already. Hey, what's up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being greeted by my mom. And then the last one is typically my sister. But then from like my mom gets home, then my dad, and then my sister like late night. And then it's just like we all eat dinner together. That's the thing, you know?
Yeah.
We don't eat in our rooms or we all get together.
That's nice.
We're grown, we're trying to like see what's up, where we're at in life.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's huge. That's cool to keep that connection.
Yeah.
Right there. Where's everyone at? You know?
Yeah. So around like 6, 7, 8, like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, like we were all in the same living room or kitchen, just chopping it up,
Just chilling.
chilling. I mean, Suns play my basketball team, so we watching the game. My mom doesn't know what's going on, but she's cheering. She's like, "Hey,
That's fine. She's just
who's that Booker? All right, he's scoring, mom." I'm like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then my sister's probably like after like school, she comes back, hits the books again, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of hangs out with us. She's in and out, and then I'm just there with my dad. We're fully invested in the game or whatever's happening on TV. And then my mom, she's in and out as well. Yeah, and then we just call it a night, like around 9-10.
A weekend though.
On the weekend, man. Shoot.
What shit pops out?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So like my mom and my dad, same old, same old. They don't work on the weekends. So Saturday and Sunday, they're just chilling. You know, they're just like they get home, they stay home. That's what it is for them. You know, they get lazy, they watch a movie. Yeah. Or my dad starts like working on the backyard, the front yard. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
Just your regular free time. Do what you got to do. Catch up.
Yeah. He can't like really like it's a weekend and he has a lot of time in his hands, which is like the weekends. Like he's doing something to the backyard or like whatever. And then for me, and my sister, because like we're young. For me now, like I just kick it. But back in the day, like I said, like just get ready. You know what I mean? Pre-game is a big one for us. So, like we pre-game.
Just to loosen up, or
Yeah,
what?
well, Mando, man, that's mandatory. You know, so like yeah, we pre-game. My sister has her own crew and her own ladies that she all kicks it with, and they all go out and stuff like that. We don't really like mix them up, so we just do our own thing. But yeah, by like 5:00, like believe it or not, 5:00, 7:00, like we start pre-gaming an hour or two, just catch up with the whole squad. Like, oh, what's up? You know, by like 8-9, we moving. You know, we're moving like we gotta be downtown, Old Town. Majority of the time is downtown. That's where the
Like, do you and your sister have different locations? I know, like, or do you guys kind of all end up at the same place?
it has happened where we're like all end up in the same place.
Yeah.
But she likes kicking in like in Old Town. She likes being in like in the rich side, you know. So yeah.
What's that?
That's Old Town. That's called Scottsdale. And that's like the rich side of like the whole Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like they have like that's like really high end clubbing and stuff like that. Bottles are crazy. Like,
Sure.
yeah, that's where she mostly goes, you know what I mean? You know, and she's a lady. She don't gotta pay for anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, yo, like crazy. Like me as a dude, like I gotta pay up front and it's crazy. And but for her, like
Drinking PBR.
how much money you got on you? She's like, I'm just carrying like $25. And she comes back home with $25. I'm like, what you do? Well, yeah, like I got in a G Wagon and just got taken out to dinner with my ladies and came back and they had a table for us and I'm like, with $25 in your pocket? She's like, yeah, I didn't even use it.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, she does it. She for real, like we're like, yeah, she has her own story she could tell. You know what I mean?
So when you guys say like a squad, like what's the squad size?
Yeah, like the size.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
so
so,
friend
like-
group, like what?
Well,
What are you rolling with?
So before like all the homies got locked up, free Puga, free Uri. No, it used to be like 12 of us. Like, it used to be like 12.
Dang, dude, that's a crew.
Yeah, it was a crew. It was a mob. We call it the clica.
The Glika.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we called it. It was back in the day.
What's that mean? Or what?
Just like the
it's
click.
just- Okay.
Your click, but we say in Spanish.
Okay.
That was like last summer before like a lot of us got locked up, and but yeah, now it's like it's not the same.
Just
Like
fewer-
the
fewer
group
people.
chat, it's been quiet. We don't really link up.
Yeah.
But last summer was crazy. Like that's when we all get together pregame.
Mm.
Yeah, pregame. That's where it starts, man. It's like I feel like sometimes the pregame is crazier than
The real party.
yeah. Like sometimes there's been many times we're like, all right, we're gonna like get to it, and then pregame's just so we're like, all right, we'll call it a night.
Yep.
Cause like we're just
Dang.
there in that place. You know what I mean? Like it's cool.
Yeah, enjoying the moment for sure. You
Yeah.
know. Dang,
For sure,
man.
for sure. It's just the nightlife out there, which is cool. Experience it. Like I feel like we all have, but yeah, it's like at one point you gotta call it quits because you
Yeah.
want to be that uncle hitting 30 and so like you know what I mean?
I feel like that's a addictive
For sure.
like thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't really find a grounding, I feel like you can kind of just keep rolling in that nightlife and like that's what you live for is that. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I could see it happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's that constant rush, that
Yeah.
dopamine run, or
Yeah.
you know, that
Yep.
fun. You know, I can see that for sure.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's about it. I mean, Phoenix is just like going out. You have like your own like going like miniature golfing, top golf, stuff like that, like golfing.
Sure.
But it's mostly like you're gonna end up at a bar or like I like that full on club.
Yeah.
What it is out there.
Dang, man.
But yeah, I mean, people change like their own their own lives, and like their own like what they want to do. So
Yep.
like you see people like in and out. Like I'm out
Yeah.
completely. Like I checked out. Like I'm done with that.
Change paths, man.
Change
New
paths. Now I'm
start.
trying to just make a home.
Yeah.
Get money.
You
Yep.
think that's why that group chat's been so quiet?
Yeah.
Is they seen a switch up?
Yeah, for real. I mean, I feel like they've been quiet for many reasons. You know what I mean? It's just more like within us, like we keep it like real. Like, you know what I mean? It's loyalty and we keep it real. So like what you see a lot, it's like, oh, like you have a drinking problem. You know what I mean? Like you gotta like you don't even know how to like fund your own like
Bad habits.
bad habits, and then like oh like but you did this and this. You know we just count on each other, but like what it is, what it actually is.
Check it. Yep.
But like people get their feelings hurt. Get out of your feelings. 101. You have to do that. Get out of your feelings. So like it's just a lot of dumb. It's not serious drama. Like why like the group chat hasn't really been my whole friends, but like it's something that's like carries too.
That's one thing I really respect about that is just call it out.
Call it
Like,
how it
call
is.
it out. Yeah.
But like we don't make it like hey like let's all get together and talk about it. No, we just
No, right.
like we call it out and then like once like y'all they're going back and forth or whoever it is
Yeah.
like. They post like they post a funny sticker of them like you know what I mean like some like X-rated stuff like something funny. It's like oh my god like you made it worse you know like it's just dumb dude. It's like
It's as sweet as you can do it in a way where everyone understands, but yet
yeah
not in a harmful way.
yeah
It's almost like if you do it now, like where we are, you're insulting them.
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah
They said it hurt the feelings.
yeah.
yeah man. It's I think you want to respect, but I don't know. I feel like yeah we're too comfortable to that past that point for sure.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Well, I got one more good question.
Shoot,
here
Travis,
that
I'm
might
ready.
end it on here is, dude, what's some good traditional like Mexican food that you guys make at your homesteads?
Nice.
Like the
Awesome.
good, like what's some stuff that
Yeah.
not like just your typical like taco, just all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
like drinks, as in like any
Yeah.
kind of like Ken was talking about, like them electrolyte drinks.
Oh yeah.
Or
yeah.
that so it's like,
Spicy
let's hear it.
Sprites.
Yeah, let's hear some of this stuff.
So like I don't know. Well, like the main popular ones would be pozole, menudo. Those are like all like they're like corn grain, like stew or soups like that. But like it's really like it's great. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
good seasoning. You put some like meats in there, like birria. I don't know if you guys heard the word birria.
Mm-hmm.
It's like beef, but like softened beef kind of.
Okay.
And it's like you put carrots and vegetables. Like it's so good, man. You know what I mean? That's called menudo or that's called pozole.
Okay.
Menudo pozole. And then other dishes could be tamales. Y'all heard of tamales?
Yeah.
The red and the green.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Tamale?
like tamales, yeah. Tamales, yeah.
What the hell's a tamale?
Like tamales, it's like corn, like I don't know, it's like a corn batter. It's like a corn batter, like shaped like in a little like phone case, right? It's like corn batter, and like inside of the corn batter, they put meat. They put like red meat or whatever, or like salsa in the red meat.
Yep.
And like they put the other half. You know what I mean? So inside it's like the meat.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And
I
like
see what you're saying.
and like they steam it up, and then like it cooks and it stays, and you take a bite. You taking a bite of corn, and that's man.
That's busted.
Bro,
That
like,
sounds good.
great. It's great. Like that's
Dang.
like something like that's winter, mostly winter meals.
Okay, sure.
If anybody has tamales, like everybody's going. Everybody wants their hands on tamales. Yeah.
Dang, that's like the hot ticket right there.
Oh, that's a hot ticket with the Coke. Oh,
Ooh,
There
top
you go.
off.
yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, you guys are trying like for like once you guys come to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Another thing from tamales could be y'all like seafood. Y'all like seafood.
God, shrimp. I don't know. Like I've never really been a big fan of it, but Maddie, the girlfriend, she introduced me to shrimp. I know, like I just never really been exposed to it a whole lot. But her dad grills it with I'm not sure what seasoning, whatever the hell it is. It tastes like chicken, but it's like I feel like I could if it's cooked or like prepared the right way.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like cold shrimp and like with the sauce I can't do.
Ooh.
But like if it's cooked with like the seasoning, I can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the texture or the taste. I don't know.
yeah.
I just
It's
iffy.
Yeah, it's popular for us. You know what I mean? Seafood. Aguachiles verdes. It's like shrimp that's cooked not with fire. It's not like cooked like with fire like in a stove. It's like cooked in lemon juice. And so it's like you get the shrimp, you peel it, and then you cut it up in half. It's like it almost looks like a butterfly because like, you split it down the middle. You put it like in a bowl with like a lot of like lime juice, and you let it cook there. The lime juice cooks the shrimp. You know what I mean? Because like the lime is like acid and like whatever.
Oh, literally just letting
Literally
it sit just
cooks.
right in there. Really?
It cooks. Yeah, it cooks over time, like over like an hour or two. Once it's all cooked, you throw in like to make the salsa. Like, right, you gotta make it green. Like aguachiles verdes, right? Because it's green. You gotta put like jalapenos, onion, cilantro, half a cup of water, salt, pepper. Like y'all blend it in, mix it to like a green sauce, and then you mix it all with the shrimp and you stir it up, and then you put some onions on top, whatever you want to do, carrots.
Dang. So like, is cilantro like really big? You guys like really big into like cilantro and stuff?
We're more big into like hot sauce, or like tahine. Yeah, tahine.
What's that like?
Oh, like
Hot
tahine.
sauce.
No, tahine. It's like how would you describe it? Huh? It's like a seasoning. It's like a paprika kind of, but not really.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like it gives it a kick, but like not too hot, but like
Just a little punch,
Salty?
a little-
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yep.
yeah. No, we'll get some. Like y'all gonna try tahine by the end of the night for real. We'll get some.
Heck yeah.
At your Corbin's or whatever.
That's local grocery store.
Yeah.
God dang, man.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dishes. Oh my god, man, it's hard, bro. Being
Yeah.
like in a Mexican household, like you gain a lot of weight easy. Like this. Like, if you're all about the gym, like no, forget it. You're not gonna stay cut. Like it's impossible.
yeah.
Yeah, we always eat like rice and beans and jalapenos. Then we eat like the tortilla, like the corn.
Yeah.
How do you guys say tortilla?
Tortilla.
Tortilla, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's like our typical one-on-one slice of cheese, maybe burritos. Sorry, yeah,
That sounds so good,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I was talking to Kenna too, and I was like, dude, we talked on the phone though one day. We were talking about some of the foods and whatnot,
right.
and I was like, man, I can't wait to just like have you like go to a real like Mexican
Oh, yeah.
household where it's like it's real,
True.
yeah,
Yep.
and just like try some of that
Well,
food. You know
well,
what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. I know where you
like-
come from, child. Like I'll take care of you guys for real. Like,
It's like,
you're in my city.
dang,
Like yeah,
man.
you're in good hands. Like by the food, by everything. Like I'm gonna walk you guys through everything.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
I'm super
For
excited
sure,
that.
for sure.
Really, am excited for that.
Yeah,
Like the whole setting around you too. 'Cause it's like here you go to a little fiesta, you walk outside, you're staring at Coburn's, and then
Right.
you're back to the American life, or of just this is what we know.
Yeah.
And then like going down there, and if that's like kind of the culture, like brother, like you're living it. Like this is it. That's what I'm excited for. Is just to see the different
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
somewhere.
yeah. Go see other places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like go to the east side. Like we're on the west side, right? The people, the food, and the culture, and like the way they carry themselves is different from the east side.
Why? In like what manner?
Like the east side is more like I feel like they're more genuine. I don't know. I'm just speaking my personal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when I went to New York and when I went to Miami, it's like they're more genuine people, but like their lifestyle is different. You know what I mean? Like the way they handle stuff is way different. The way
Yeah.
they think is different too, and like their foods are different. You know what I mean? So it's good seeing like other places and like their foods and their culture and how they handle things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fun part too. Like for me, like traveling, a lot of it's like trying a different food. I love food, and I love trying like. I gotta be honest. I haven't really like. I'm that kind of dude that like sees a good old cheeseburger on the menu.
You're right.
That's just what I know. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
just love like different
Yeah.
burgers and stuff. You know,
Right.
but I want to get to that point now. I want to start like. I
Yeah.
want to try new
Try
things.
new
You know, it's
shit,
like
yeah.
we know we're in a different environment. Like let's just
Try
try
it.
it. And this
I mean,
why
just
not?
say you
know?
tried it. If you don't
Yeah.
like it, hey, I'll
Now
knock
I
it
know.
off of the list. Now you know
Yeah,
exactly.
That's some of my new goals I'm
Yeah.
gonna do.
Nah, I'm gonna take it upon myself like to show you guys like what like the other side could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
For real,
yeah.
for real. I mean, once like
I'm super excited.
once we're like I'm settled and like once we're settled, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
come to my
Yeah.
city, like I'll be great. We might even take a trip to Mexico. You know what I mean? Like whatever. I know that didn't ring a lot of bells, but yeah, who knows, right? We might
Yeah.
take a little trip to Mexico. You're in good hands. You know what I mean?
Heck
So you need what the hell is it?
passport.
Passport. Do you need a passport?
Passport card, or whatever.
Like when ID work?
Yeah, but they'll give you shit for it. They'll let you pass regardless, but they'll be like annoyed
Yeah,
with you, you know. But
that
they'll-
part be good.
But yeah, they can't deny your homeland, you know. So yeah, they're gonna let you slide regardless.
Shit.
Moving into another thing here. What
Yeah,
is
go ahead.
being so close to the new year? What is the new Cama in 2024? Is it 2024?
Just like going to church, and not just that, like going to like a Bible study. You know what I mean? or like me reading more of the Bible, or me being more confessing more, going to confessions. That's more like on my spiritual side that I want to be closer to.
Yeah.
It's been like, I know I don't want to say back in my mind. It's been like one of my goals and something that's been on my mind completely. But yeah, that's something I do want to do.
It's a good one to have. And
Yeah,
helps
especially
feel tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, you can never get enough of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one and only. But another goal would be owning a home. I want to own a home.
So you are trying to get a home right now,
Yeah.
are you not?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Heck yeah.
Got to
man.
get a couple things straightened out first. But yeah,
Yep.
trying to get a home.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, because you know what I mean, I need a base. You know what I mean?
Groundings for sure.
Yeah, like I need a place. You know what I mean? I need something. I don't want a house. I want a home.
Yeah.
That's true. So
you know?
true.
So it's
Yep.
like I want that.
Yeah.
So
Start your own home, man.
For
You know,
sure.
your own little, like you said,
yeah,
your own little base.
own
This
little
is
base,
it,
and
you
then
know?
from there we can see what's up. But
Yeah.
having a home would be nice, and just the kids. I don't think anytime soon. You know.
Mhm.
Yep.
But after the home, and after like me being like more in tune with like my religion, my faith, would be just give or take like travel. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for sure.
Like maybe like not like 3 times a year, right? But like once a year.
yeah.
Just to get out.
Once a year. Like instead of like when it's like cold in Phoenix, believe it or not, it gets cold in Phoenix. Like go to the Bahamas, or like go to Cabos, or go to Puerto Vallarta, like down like beaches where it's so warm throughout like the winter. You know what I mean? Throughout the year.
Dude, you know what I'd love? What I'd really love to do is like, kind of like how we went to Montana last year, but something like that. Would love to like bring everyone up to Montana again. You know what I mean? Like, such beautiful hikes out there. It's such an awesome area. It's something different, you know? I mean, that would be super fun to do too one day.
Right.
Just go out there and, yeah, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I heard about Montana. Like, yeah, kind of told me a little bit about it.
Yeah,
Like, she told me like it's beautiful. It's like
Dude, it
I
is, man.
don't know if it was you or Travis, but like God's land or whatever. Who says that?
Oh, good God, what the hell is it? Something Sky.
What, the big sky?
The Big Sky Country. Is that what it was?
No, God's country. God's country.
Yeah.
That stuck to me. I don't know who said it. But yeah.
You know, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something else.
Yeah, it's
Love
like
it
the
out
scenery
there.
is crazy, right?
Love
Dude,
it.
it's literally like on the hikes. It looked like a picture on a calendar.
Yeah,
Like,
a
that's no
portrait,
bullshit.
yeah.
Like it was like, dude, like everywhere you looked, it was like true, beautiful.
Wow. No, yeah.
And like even on the off kind of not the main trail, but just if you kind of wander off, like you find the own beauty of it. I don't know. It's something you literally have to see because going out to Montana, like I said, like I didn't know what to expect, and going out there and like seeing everywhere you look, almost like a calendar picture. Like wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, like dude, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's such like a fresh breath of air of seeing more of the world, and like it's natural place.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's
there's no traffic rolling by you. There's no people screaming. Like this is it. You got the mountains. You got a pond here. Birds flapping in the sky.
Right.
Whatever. It was very cool to see.
for sure.
It's true.
I mean, Montana, yeah, something we should do.
It is.
I just met you guys yesterday, but
Yes. Yeah.
I know good people when I see
Yeah,
good people.
heck
So
yeah, dude.
I mean, whenever y'all trying to
Likewise.
take a trip,
Yeah, it'll happen for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. There's no doubt.
yeah.
Real quick.
Montana.
How do you say revamp in Spanish?
Revamp.
I not
Revamp. Pum pum. Yeah. Revamp.
Do it again.
Well.
I'll throw a beat.
Let me get my mixer.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
brother.
revamp. Yeah, that's a word.
Right on. Well, I appreciate you coming on the Revamp podcast,
you.
man. It's an honor to have you on, and just to kind of get the feel for different culture in a sense.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming all the way to Phoenix just to be on the podcast.
Yeah,
too.
that was a big
definitely-
move for you. And
Yeah, I mean, I had one mission to do, and that's something to be with you guys. But yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate you guys having me. For
Absolutely.
sure. I mean, I hope you guys like it. You know what I mean? I had a blast.
Dude,
Just like
Absolutely,
just
man.
picking each other's brains and just
Yeah.
what we were about and where we come from.
Dude, it's awesome hearing your story, man. It's awesome hearing where you started, where you are now, like
Thank
your
you,
whole
thank you.
journey, and like it's great. Thank you.
no, honestly,
Likewise.
it's awesome, brother. Well, thank you very much, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Alrighty.
So, all right, awesome. See you guys. See you later.
Motherfucker, I've been mortified, 45, feeling like a Mordecai. I ain't regular, feel like Jordan wearing 45. Traumatized, victimized, seen some of my niggas die. Knock you off a base with a bat when them niggas slide. Homicide, genocide.